J Squad.
We gotta find now what do we do? That's the first clue. Now what do we do? That's the first clue. We gotta find
everybody. How y'all doing today? yes, Red. We live in a society. Thank you, Kimoji. If it wasn't for you, I would be muted the entire stream. So I'm glad we got you there. Money, welcome. Hope everyone is doing good. Been on a bit of a sabbatical, we'll say. Got a little stomach bug, ran through the house. So we took some time cool. So I'm guessing that you're cool with Noah now. given that you're reacting to his videos again. Yeah, yeah, we talked. Don't you start with me, Nazmir. We talked about it soon after, and neither of us have any like ill will. I didn't hate him for it. What's going on, David? How you doing? Oh man, David's a friend of mine, so don't ban him if he says anything too bad. But it has been a day. Yeah, me and Noah talked about it. We're good with each other. I've even talked about coming on his show or him coming on mine again, and us talking about something. I reacted to one of his videos a week or so back, so we went from there. I mean, yeah, that's the kind of me with Nick Andros, despite not having agreed with him on that drama. Yeah, I mean that's kind of how it goes. There's no no need to just drop people at a hat unless they've done something. Well, as we've seen, some people you can rape and still be friends with. Hold on, I'm gonna pull up the game we're gonna be playing today. But I also want to look at some smaller content that I haven't brought up, like Leaflet. That chick is absolutely doing some mental gymnastics to try and say that her friend is not a rapist. Nick is chill, so I don't have any ill will towards him. Yeah, I mean he's just a commentary guy. He makes his autistic videos. He talks about stuff, but he's really down to earth when you talk to him and things like that. Even if you have a disagreement, a lot of those guys, for the most part, in the commentary community, while some people in my group dislike them or say that they're bad faith or anything like that, they're very willing to at least talk to you about it and not just drop you at a hat even after everything, even after you go through like issues with them. Of course, every drama is different. I want to look at this leaflet thing real quick before we get too far into it. I meant to pull it up earlier. Let's see here. I think I saved it. I should have saved it. I know I commented on it. This leaflet. I don't know much about this chick other than I've seen Simon go back and forth with her, and I've seen her little pieces of her little her debate with Nire. But man, her recent stuff talking about Tectone, trying to defend and sweep for Tectone. Let's see, where did it go? Oh, here we are. Here we are. Let's pull this over here and get this up on screen for everybody. I gotta, don't even, not even prepared for stream. First day back, not even prepared at all. Let's take, no, not that one. There it is. There it is. Boom. Up we go. What is it this time? NFTs with Leaflet? No, it's defending rape. So if you don't know Leaflet, she's I guess a VTuber who is on like the side, the anti-woke kind of culture war grift with people like Tectone. Oh, Grummz? No, we're gonna get to Grummz and his website that he has made, fully 100% AI with AI writers, and I've been told that the writers, these non-existent AI writers, have their own bios and talk about themselves. So we will have time to go check out Grummz. Leaflet is covering for Tectone so she doesn't become the next victim. True, true. She doesn't want to become one of the raped. So, anyways, people have been going at her because she's close ties with Tectone and all of these other guys like Nuxtaku, who's now been found to have multiple minors. I mean, it's like coming down the woodwork that there's like a ton of minors that were in that 18 plus chat that he wasn't monitoring at all. Everyone has an anchor. That's right. But let's listen to her speak her way around Nux Taku uh and Tectone.
I made it on the base list. I gained like 2,500 followers. I don't have an opinion on the video because I haven't seen it. People were like, how do you feel about Rape Tone and Grummz Taku? And I'm like, bro, I don't really care. I don't.
What a fucking statement. Oh, what about the guy who had Em8er groomed into his chat into doing a ton of illegal drugs, seeing a bunch of sexual shit? And we're not talking about like 16 and 17-year-old. We're talking about someone who was in his server at 11, 12, ruined their fucking life around that time with all this drugs, gore, and fucking sexual stuff that these guys were grooming her into. Oh, and you know, I don't care that Tectone has been found to have raped his former girlfriend, probably his ex-wife too. That's that. You know, we're just gonna ignore that. I don't care.
Know about it. I'm gonna wait because the reason why is because every time this happens, they're like, oh, this person's a Nazi, that person's a groomer, that person's a pedo. I'm gonna wait a couple weeks, I'm gonna see what happens, and then, you know, maybe someone will tell me about it, and then like I'll look into it that way, right? Nux finds the yearly cancel campaign. Yeah, well, the thing is like, I'm skeptical.
I've heard rumors, and I don't know if I was misreading it, that Tectone's legal case for it may be reopened and relooked at after this. Now, I can't say that that's happening 100%. I remember seeing something online about it. So we'll see what she has to say in a couple of weeks if that's brought back up.
Skeptical of any cancel campaigns because you want to know why? Because I know these leftists are fucking liars. They're fucking.
I mean, just to be so deranged that all leftists are liars. All of these people who are calling Tectone a rapist, all of these people that are calling Nux Taku well, most people aren't even calling him a groomer. They're calling him incompetent or like groomer adjacent. Yes, we're getting there. We're getting there, Kimoji.
Dirty liars, little dirty rat liars. So I just. Like, they've cried wolf so much, I just don't even believe them anymore.
Enabler,
I looked into the Tectone thing slightly. It's actually so retarded. Do you want to know what their logic is? They put a protective order against him in civil court. That's it. Okay. Civil court.
They didn't just put that protective order on him, right? Yeah, they put a protective order that says he is not allowed to go anywhere near this woman, talk about this woman, do anything around this woman's friends or family, right? Yeah, that's the part of the protective order. They also took away his Second Amendment right to carry a gun. That is not easily done. That is not just done on a fucking whim. So to act like this is some small thing, oh, it's just a protective order. No, this is a full-on, like, they think he is a danger to her. They think he is a danger to other people. Can't own guns in Texas, must be a good guy.
It's not even a criminal charge, and people are saying like, oh,
And the criminal charge shit is such a fucking bullshit defense. Like, I get it, yes, there is a higher standard to put him in jail for it, but they can still come to a determination that something has happened that has caused the ex-girlfriend like emotional distress. There is a reason they put a legal order out to tell him he can go nowhere near her. Is it a permanent order or a temporary order? I don't remember. It's ooh. Does anyone else remember who is looking at it? I can try and look it up while we're going through this. I think it's temporary for so many years, like 5 or 7 years, 10 years, or something like that. So it's temporary, but it's like it's quite a long time. Oh man. And if you read the court case, like a lot of people have, because the fucking county that this was all tried in leaked the documents that were supposed to be closed. A temporary order is automatic until a hearing happens. A permanent order is 3 or more years. So what you're saying is they're gonna looked it up. It was 10 years protective order. Right, not every SA case is charged in protective orders. Temp orders are automatic until a hearing happens. A permanent is 3 or more years. So how long does it usually take? David used to be a cop for a while. He knew more about it. So a 10-year order is permanent. Oh, okay. So what you're saying is it is a permanent order, essentially, if it's 10 years. So Gare, there you go. He's got a permanent order to not be able to do it. This isn't, like I said, this is not something that's lightly done. This isn't a case of, hey, we're just putting a protective order. Hey, don't go near her, right? They've thrown a good bit of the book at him for this protective order. But David used to be a cop. He's pretty good with the legal stuff and things like that. Me and him argue stuff all the time. Let's see here. But let's keep going.
See, he raped her. Like, what?
I mean, what was it that he admitted to forcing her down onto his dick, telling her that she had to give him head whenever he asked. Then what was it about he wouldn't eat her pussy because he didn't think he could give her pleasure. So in all of the time that they were together, she never got he never so the whole time they were dating, she never got pleasured. It was fucking hilarious. He's lucky he got away with just a protective order. If he went to prison, he'd become the raped, literally. Yes, he would. I don't know that Tectone would do all that well in prison. He's a pretty boy.
That's not even that.
To be fair, though, I wouldn't do well in prison.
That's not even proof.
Guilty until proven innocent.
Like, okay.
Basically, that's what everyone's doing. It's stupid as fuck. Even if we were to ignore all of the suspicious stuff around it, like the judge being biased in like a, and this is in Austin, by the way. Like, even if
it's in Austin, and the judge was woke. The judge was a lefty, so clearly they just did it because they don't like Tectone's content.
if we were to just ignore all of that, right, and say, okay, the judge was totally legit, and there's like, there's no like ulterior motives from anybody, even then, it's not even a criminal charge. You can sue people and get protective orders against people for anything.
I used to work with court cases.
Yep, still an SA case, though. It wasn't bad enough for it to go to criminal court. True. And that could very much be the case. And here's the thing, though. If Tectone really wants to fight it, if he doesn't think this happened, then he'll, file an appeal. He's got the money. He's got the fucking money to go do it. So, if he files an appeal and it all gets taken down, I'll only make fun of him for all of the stuff he said in the one that he got taken down with. You're telling me out of all of the judges in the deep red state, Tectone somehow managed to get a woke judge? Well, that's why they're saying Austin, because Austin tends to be more blue than the rest of Texas. But still, yeah, you're right on this. The old woman has to be her mom? I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Like a lot.
But I mean, you know how civil has a much less standard of evidence, basically.
Yep.
So like, it doesn't even mean anything. It means that they thought that there was a possibility that there's a possibility that he could have done it, basically.
Yeah.
So like they wanted.
Yeah, there's a pretty good possibility that he did do it, but there's not enough evidence to criminally charge him with it. And maybe, like I said, I've heard rumors that case might reopen.
They wanted to err on the side to protect the girl, just in
something
case.
like that. All it means.
Isn't it true though? Like there are very few actual like SA cases or rape cases that go to criminal trial. A lot of them are solved through civil court because a lot of times there's not enough evidence to fully put one in jail. I mean, you have to have beyond a reasonable doubt. Remember, a daughter and mom do? Oh, are they? I did not know that. That's kind of silly.
means is that there was a
hear
ruling
my name.
deciding that keeping them separated was the safest for all parties.
It wasn't keeping them separated. It was saying that Tectone is not allowed to go near her because she forms a he is some form of danger to him. They think it's reasonable that he could be a danger to her. They also decided that he could be so much of a danger that he's not allowed to legally own a gun anymore. So much for like all of his YouTube friends who are gun content creators and stuff like that. He can't go touch one with them.
That's it.
So not too
So yeah, that was a Leaflet is just funny to see her just try and completely backpedal and do some mental gymnastics. Like it's fucking Olympic worthy on her and sweeping for Tectone. And for Nuxtaku, since all of this Nuxtaku shit has been coming out. Now, before we get any further, before we start looking into Grummz and his AI website, we're going to purple hair on Grummz's website. Whoa, yeah. Before we get into this, we're going to look at the game that I'm going to be playing for a while. I'm kind of change it up a little bit. Like I've been playing a game for like a week or two or like a couple of days, depending on the type of game. But me being a broke ass and me wanting to complete games a little bit more, not just fill my backlog with games that I may never beat. I'm going to try and play them all the way through, at least one time. New game up on the list for today is called Death Howl. I interacted a little bit with the developers online. It's kind of where I saw this game, and I think it was Em8er who showed me this game. So I figured, hey, let's pick it up. Let's take a look at it. It's another deck builder. Like I've played a little bit of it, and it's already kind of caught me into that deck build. Like I'm not generally a deck builder guy. That's just not generally my genre that I get into. But this one is pretty good. It's got the tactical combat that I like, and the story, is pretty gripping. I'm gonna have to turn down the volumes and stuff on that. Let's go in here and turn down that master volume. The music's pretty good. I enjoy it. It's simple, but it's very atmospheric. I'll turn the music all the way down. Sound effects can stay about right there. Let's get this on screen for everybody, since it didn't want to put it on screen when I put it up there. Where you at? Still shows Be My Horde. Be My Horde is a pretty fun game if you got like 10 minutes to spend. I'm getting it. Don't worry, Damaged. Don't worry, Em8er. I'm getting it. Don't y'all start coming in here and starting a bunch of shit. I know how you are. Come on. There it is. Death Howl. I love the art style of it. I'm a big fan of like pixel games and pixel art. So I can enjoy it. I like I've had a bunch of my favorite games are that way. You think of like Caves of Cud. Oh, well, Caves of Cud is like somewhere between pixel and ASCII. But anyway, you play a mother looking for her son. A mother looking, yeah, pixels rule. I absolutely agree. I wish I was some kind of artist. I would do pixel art for fun, but I am not. So we're going to get in here. Like I said, I'm going to play it through. So I may stop if we're watching a video and read what's on, the screen, or listen to the, whatever is on the screen for it as we play through it and continue the videos and go from there. But definitely a good call, Em8er. I love it. Em8er's been on his high horse the last couple of weeks as document after document is dropping on the Smash JT case. And Smash is showing up on stream with more and more wine. We wait for me in the spirit world. It's addictive. Yeah, I could see where it was already starting to get that way, so I stopped and said, no, I just did enough to learn what to play. Scandinavian folklore. Both. I may have to turn it up just a little bit. Oh, no, never mind. It's good. It's good. Darkness. I can't see. Olvi? He died in your arms. Please, tell me where to find my son. Come to me. So we're going to play it here for probably about 30, 45 minutes to get started. Then we're going to go look at Grummz's website. And then after we get done with Grummz's website, we'll listen to some Otter talk about the 80s while we play. My sweet boy, is that really you? Branch. I laughed at this part because it makes me think that the kid is retarded. I'm here, Ollie. I will take you home. But then it gets sad. Olvi. Branch, skull, bug, cone. I don't understand. Please come back to me. I'm sure that'll come up later. No, come back, Olvi. Lost are those who seek the way out of sorrow. I will not lose him. It's too late. He's not yours anymore. Hey, Utterly Noah, what's going on? So far, I've played a little bit just to get a feel for the game and kind of get through like any kind of tutorial stuff, and I'm loving it. This is a game that it will be hard to play, not to play it off stream, so that everyone gets the experience on stream. So we'll see. I will not let death take him. Oh, I've been doing good, man. It's been an interesting couple of weeks. I was sick for a while, but we're doing better. How are things going for you? I've seen the new videos coming out. I watched one of them recently, and it was pretty good. And I'm looking forward to seeing this 80s ones. Were you even born in the 80s, Noah? Great pixel art. It is. It's great pixel art. Yeah, get over it. This just won an award for art style. Some Euro award. Nice. Good for them. It's well deserved. Forest Spirit, I beg you, don't take him from me. Thanks, Simon. Just reminds me how old I am. Wait, please don't go. Death, release my child. All of you youngins. All of you youngins. Now, I have to say, I got like a negative for this game already, because the first thing I have to fight is a pig, is a boar. Like, really? Really? I have 2 pairs of boots that are 20 years old. Welcome to the old man club, David. If you laugh, you go to the farm. It's too late. We're gonna go here. So it's your basic deck builder, and it's closer to what is the tower game? Raise the Tower or something. The Tower, the one that came out, big first deck building game. One day I'll remember these. Than it is to others. Like you have the damage, but you'll also have shield ones. Like, you know, Slay the Spire. Thank you, Komoji. That's what I have you around for. I don't think I've watched the autism one, so maybe I hadn't. Maybe I'm just making shit up now in my head for it. But it's one I want to watch. I haven't watched yet. Oh, I'm gonna have to. Okay. Can I do it this way? No, it has to be in a straight line. Okay, so we'll go here. We'll strike the pig. There we go. And then we'll hurl the rock. There we go. The pig looks more like a bug. Maybe a bug with a pig head on it, like the beetle is using the bug's head, or the beetle is using the pig's head to look tougher. He's gonna charge me. Yeah, there are bugs. There are. See, here's you got shields. Do shield on yourself to reduce damage, and then this one costs one less for each shield that you have on you, so that makes that one. For a nice big hit, and then we will strike, and then we'll hurl. Boom. So fairly simple. Oh yeah, absolutely, Komoji. Boars are, and people don't realize just how big pigs get, like boars get. Even my pigs, Hammy and Fern especially, because she's got more boar in her. She's got more like wild boar in her than she does, you know, what is it called? Mini pig? She's half mini pig, half bigger pig. They get enormous. And those tusks, man, they'll eat you alive. We have to have Hammies trimmed from time to time, just because they'll get too long, and those things are razor blades. This reminds me of that one game Wendigoon covered. You'd have to be specific, Nazmir. I don't watch much of Wendigoon anymore. Health back. Give me my health back. So these are your souls-like fire pits. You'll come here and you can get health back, but when you do, all the animals come back. You were dead, I don't understand. You awakened the stones. This sacred grove released the death howl. You had absorbed from the boar. Hey, what's going on, Reddy? Welcome to the chat. Just going over some death howl before we get into some Grummz thing. Faith, the Holy Trinity. That's the one. Oh yeah. I haven't tried Faith. I would like to try that one. I mean, there's about 1 billion games on my list that we're never gonna make. It revived every creature in the spirit world. Look around you. That's what I've heard, Komoji. Dang, Kay's in here too? We got everybody coming in today. Full house. I played the first chapter and then haven't had time to finish the rest. See, Komoji is like a real trooper. I see him constantly on X talking about the games that he's been playing and finishing. I can't say that I get through that much. Are you looking for someone? A stag, a fawn. They have passed by a moment ago. I'm sorry, my eyes have not been open for a while. Of course, I'm sorry. I must be on my way. Thank you for giving me back my senses. It is easy to get lost here. It happened to me. I was so very lost for a very long time. Nothing here is what it seems. Yeah, for every game I finish, I've got like 5 more unfinished. That's fair. That's fair. Spirits. I like the map. It kind of get choices of where you want to go. You don't really know what anything is yet. Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I've been looking at Komoji. I've been looking at what is it called? Not Enshrouded. I've been looking at other games that have come up. I've been playing Menace, even though it's not done. And Menace, I really like Menace and where it's starting, but it needs some work. There's some AI issues. and other things like that. But for like a starter with it, Menace is a really great game. It's one I'll probably play on stream after this one. So now we got 2 enemies. Let's stay here. Give me some blockage. Then we will hurl a rock.
Yeah.
Boom. Hey, what's going on, Grizzle? Hey, yeah, I missed him making a news site. Yeah, I've been told it's hilarious. So we will see. Boar's coming after me. All right, let's do that. Then we'll do that for 3 damage. Then we'll hit that one. And we're going to go here. That'll do that. The Precinct. Which one was that one? I'm trying to think. Ooh. Yeah, hey man, I get it. Everyone's got hobbies. Like I haven't painted in forever because I'm doing this streaming hobby as well as you know, playing games that I enjoy playing. So I get it. Life, you have to pick and choose your hobbies sometimes. Boom. That one, and we're done. Okay, let's go here. Move up one. And swipe. Boom! That's what I'm talking about. I feel a powerful energy within these objects. Maybe I can use them to make an amulet to protect myself, or a weapon. I can overcome these spirits by throwing rocks at them. I can't overcome these. I don't know. I think she's doing a pretty good job. Yeah, we all have backlogs. We just don't know it yet. I think I'm gonna go aim for the heart. So I like the way this game has you build out your deck, where you actually gather materials like the pig nose and other things like that, and build out the items. Like this one needs 1 stick and 1 more snout of a Grummz snout, not a pig, a Grummz snout. And then I can get like first strike, and then new cards will become available as it comes up. Yeah, I'm sure you can make some crazy decks. I haven't seen a deck builder yet that doesn't have a broken deck. Okay, so hold on. Can I do that now? Oh, I don't have enough Death Howls. That's what it is. So it's a balancing act because Death Howls heal you when you go into the stones, but then they also are used to make your deck. So it's like, do you have enough health to make it to the next one? Can you defeat these enemies? Let's see. We're gonna go here and start it off. I like the balance. Oh, counts less for each card you played. Let's back switch up. What is this? Fragile. Damage received is doubled. 1 turn left. Let's fucking do that.
Yeah.
4 right there. All right. Sprint up here. Oof, I couldn't get it. I played that wrong. Oof. And of course, you have to have cards that fuck up your deck, right? Dead. Boom. And we go. Yeah, dude, when the poltergeist in my house acts up, I just start slinging rocks everywhere. I mean, he's already slinging them at you, right? Your household furniture. You might as well sling them back. because you you don't like card games because you meta slave the hell out of them. I get it. Card games, I have like a love-hate relationship with card games. Sometimes I'm all about them. Sometimes I just like, it takes a lot. Like the problem with me is like card games are really much based on multiple playthroughs, and I'm really not a multiple playthrough guy in general. I'm generally like, I play through a game once and then I'm done. But let's sprint. We're gonna move here. So, did I just die? Oh, that's the first time. Oh, he just lets you fight the fight again. Interesting. Choose a starting position. All right, let's try this again, but differently. I need to watch my health more carefully. All right. We're going to do that. Oh, boop. Then we're going to hit that. That'll kill him. And then I can put a little block on myself. There we go. There we go. Now I'm playing. I'm not a multiplayer playthrough guy. Caves of Cud. Okay. For card games, I'm sorry. You're right. That's a completely hypocritical thing for me to say. I love multiple playthrough games. I just don't do card playthrough games well on multiple playthroughs. Emoji calling me out on stream in front of everybody. Those games, though, like, I don't even know what to say about it at that point. You're just right. All right, we're going to exhaust that. And we will get rid of this one. Man, they're all way back there. Let's do this. Move up 2. And call it a turn. As much as I would like to stay with all of these cool people in chat, time for bed early, early morning work, night. All right, Grizzle. Or McDizzle, we'll see you next time. Reach out to me, dude. I want to talk to you about doing a Smash Court Case stream before I leave in March. So if you got time, you know, to jump on with me. Oh, man. All right, let's keep going. We're going to do a couple more. Oh, I just fucked that up. What the fuck did I do there? All right. What do we got? Play that. Dude, if you like multiple playthrough games, play Dragon's Dogma 1 or 2. I've played 1. It's not one that I've beaten, but it's one that I have played on there. Very enjoyable game. The second one, I haven't. I'm gonna end up dying again, aren't I? Get out of this. Yep. We're gonna do this, and then that, then this. Boom. I have a little class I have to go to in March for about 3 weeks. I won't be back until the end of March. So yeah, that should be fun. I'll probably be on X and other places like that, of course. But I won't be able to stream just from where I'm at. I'll have my computer, so I may jump on Discord or something like that when I'm bored and jump into general chat. I just won't be able to stream because of everyone that I'm around. Yeah, we're about to die. All right, we're gonna move on to Grizzle because I'm already getting my ass beat, even though I've beat this part before. Oh, thanks. It's something I've been looking forward to doing for about 1.5 years now. So it's gonna be good. Good. Let's see here. Do I even have any to reheal, or did I just fuck myself? Oh, there you go. There we go. I appreciate it, Reddy. Wargaming Dad doesn't want to stream at his boot camp because people around him will think he's crazy talking about anti-woke people. You're not fully wrong. You're not completely wrong there. Oh, it's different. Hold on. Oh, no. I've already fought this one before. You're not wrong. All right. Before we get started on this one, now that I've gotten my health back, let's look at this website. Let's look at the blue-haired anti-woke website. So for all of those who don't know who Grummz is, though I think most people in my chat are going to know who he is a failed gaming dev who worked for Blizzard for a period of time. Did he was part of making World of Warcraft or Warcraft or whatever he said he did when in there, but he was like a very minor part. I think he was like a team lead for it. And then he always puts StarCraft in his profile, but all he did with StarCraft was port it to it was either the NES or Xbox or something, or Nintendo. Yeah, he was a team lead for Blizzard. So he didn't work on StarCraft. He ported StarCraft to another console. Later started his own company with some friends. I think it was the N64, because I remember playing StarCraft on the N64. The only time I've ever played a game, a strategy game on console, the last time I'll ever play a strategy game on console. Yes, he was a pencil pusher. A lot of the stuff he did was legal stuff because that's what his background is. But anyway, he later on decided to start his own gaming industry, all while making porn of women wrestling, I guess, cat fight women, whatever he used to call it, as under the guise of Debbie Chan. His game Firefall was an absolute fucking disaster. He spent several $1 million on a bus that didn't work and had to be dragged to the event it went to, and now has become a anti-woke grifter who pretends he was part of Gamergate, as well as trying to inundate himself with people like Elon Musk or anyone who will give him attention. So he's also restarted his own game to remake Firefall into what's called Em8er for his fans. He's been taking money for this for over a decade now, and has yet to produce a game or even a demo. What he's put out now is like an alpha that doesn't even really work. So while people have been complaining about him making his game, his fans, his people who are paying him money for the fake skins that don't exist and for the other content that's on there, he decided, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to code an AI news cycle for the anti-wokers. Do you see, of course, the hot fake girl who doesn't exist that, they all want? She's got blue hair, which is weird. This is apparently for the story Spencer Retires, Bonds bails, Ali Al-Shamar seizes Xbox. We're going to read this one because that's topical. But first, I wanted to look at his staff, because none of these people exist. This is all AI. Not a single person here exists, but they have names and they have profiles with nicknames. So let's read through some of these together and see what we got here. So this is Jax Harlan, the Gatekeeper. Of course, hinting at them gatekeeping games, an idea that is absolutely impossible. Like, what are you going to do, Grummz? Come to my house and stop me from buying a game that you think is woke? Get the fuck out of here. It's the same thing with like these people who talk about Warhammer 40K or any of these other things. Gatekeeping doesn't exist. The only thing you're doing is gatekeeping yourself from more people to play. But let's see here. The Gatekeeper. Why are there anti-woke AI agents? Because there have to be writers for a news outlet, right? Cut my teeth on PC accelerators blood-soaked floors in the 90s, dodging PR shrapnel and chain-smoking deadline demons. Holy fuck, that first line is terrible. Straight AI slop right there. Bootstrapped, no clip 360 from a dingy garage when the suits killed the old guard. I edited with a butcher's precision. Kill the fluff, thrill the truth, or it's a landfill. Beat. I own everything, assigns edits, berries, and dull pitches. Care because I decided what gaming news lives and dies. Oh man, the biggest form of the dead internet theory. 100% Kimoji. This is the dead internet. Imagine Grummz getting cease and desisted from original no clips. Oh god, please don't make me think of things that might actually happen. K win or clutch. So obviously he's trying to, notate a gamer from the teams. I'm trying to think of one. Like, this reminds me of one, but I haven't looked at anything esports in forever. Yo, I'm Kai Win. Clutch to the faithful. I'm a 26-year-old. You don't exist. XLOL caster. The fuck is an LOL caster? Who clawed my way up from sweaty land basements. Hey, don't bring lands into this. This AI has never seen land before. Oh, League of Legends, League of Legends. So basically he's claiming that this AI person is a League of Legends fucking caster. I should have known that. Oh, traded a headset for the savage spotlight at No Clips 360 after calling out more cheaters than I can count. League of Legends commentary. Gotcha. Clutch or kick rocks. Esports wait for no one. So this is the one that's going to write his esports. This one's the editor-in-chief. Why wouldn't Grummz put himself up here as the editor-in-chief of this site? I mean, besides the fact that he has no actual, pull anymore in any industry. Grummz needs to hire the LLM Smash uses for the website's legal team. Yeah, these are pretty bad. Broomstick. They missed an opportunity here. They should have gotten rid of that. They missed an opportunity right here. And also, very woke. Very woke. One letter away from being based. Yo, I'm Lena Broomstick Reyes, 20. Hey, have you noticed that they all clawed their way from sweaty Overwatch Pro queues? Burned out on Smurf queues and toxic tanks. Okay, this one swapped a mouse. This one swapped a headset. It's not even it's the same breakdown. All right, so this one swapped a mouse. This one swapped a headset. Now I live for the Chaos Co-ops clutch. So this is their FPS reporter. Riley Patel. Expose the church. Redacted. Weird. I started as a night shift QA tester in Vancouver studios. Logging bugs while the devs partied upstairs until I leaked my first crunch diary to the forum. Indian diversity. Yes, very diverse of this website. When did this site go up? As far as I know, yesterday. As far as I know, it was yesterday when it went live. At least that's when he announced it, right? Unearth the industry's dirty ledgers with timestamps and emails nobody else bothers chasing. I have a feeling that these emails don't exist. Well, I'll say that this one didn't trade anything, right? What drives me? Simple studio, ATMs, workers with disposables. I just make sure the receipts surface, no matter how many NDAs they shred. Senior gaming critic. What the fuck is all of this? Welcome, EGAD. Welcome to No Clip 360. Grummz's new unhinged editorial site, Zero Chill, All AI. These are the writers for said AI channel. We have the editor-in-chief who cut his teeth on PC accelerators. We have the Asian esports journalist who traded a headset to be on No Clips. The woke FPS reporter who traded in a mouse to be on No Clips. The shadow op who apparently dropped crunch diaries on former employees of hers and then left Kotaku because she apparently worked for Kotaku. I don't know that I would be saying that. I don't know if I would be having my AI say that they worked for an agency that they clearly didn't work for because it's AI. I don't think there's any legal trouble with that, but it could cause some problems. Oh, he's just trying to be as annoying as possible. That's really cute. Yeah, it's pretty sad. We've got the Metallica shirt, Flame War, Rocco Malone. There's one white guy. So far, we've got one white guy. The rest have all been very diverse. Oh, there's a second white guy who's just a copy and paste of fucking whatchamacallits. And then a guy pretending he's Dungeons and Dragons. All right, let's see here. The fuck is PewDiePie? It is PewDiePie. Jesus Christ. Oh man. Thorn Blackwood. I clawed my way. He clawed his way. He clawed his way out. This guy clawed his way out. She didn't claw her way out, but she worked for Kotaku. This person clawed their way out. This person right here clawed their way out. And then this guy just cut his teeth, I guess. Let's see how many clawed their way out. Someone didn't proofread the AI descriptions. Oh, look, she clawed her way out too. I'm whalebait win. Chain smoking degenerate. They're all chain smoking apparently too. Did something somewhere because nothing says fun like 0.60% rates of soft pity lies. Yeah, I'm convinced that Mark has a fetish for this. Like, my theory is he purposely sabotages his video game project because he wanted to see how long he could keep the ruse going. You're probably not wrong. I mean, if you look at his history, he seems like he's been pretty much a grifter the entire time. He just tries to jump on whatever thing he thinks can be popular in the gaming industry. And with his legal knowledge, he tries to skirt the realm of what is legal within it. How is this ethical? It's not ethical. War, sorry, you had to take, hey, it's fine, money, take the call. I'm always here. Makes sense. Grummz has been trying to claw his way out of the mom's basement. He injected that part of his personality. He connected one of those brainwave emitters to his head and said, hey, read my thoughts, and that's how I want everyone to be. Now look at this wokey right here. Pixel up. Ziggy Torres. Did she claw her way up? Yo, Ziggy, aka Pixel Pup. The 22-year-old gremlin who clawed out of Discord servers. Oh my god. Not the soy jacks. Oh god, yes, the soy jacks. Me with oh, Look at all the frogs. Yeah, this is just trying to. Now I'm the chaos. This is chaos. Let's see how many times chaos is dropped in here. Not in this one by the look of it. Not in that one. I know I saw it in another one here. Maybe I'm just looking dumb. I'm Snap Salazar. Nope, looks like I was wrong. Oh, there it is. I now live for the chaos. Account directed, competitive, broke words, hot. Oh, if you don't know, you can control. Oh, true. I do know that. I just fail to ignore it. Chaos. Chaos. Okay, so chaos is in every single, or is in 3 of them. We've got Claude in a bunch of. Oh God. The Drain, Colin Whitaker. I hail from the dimly lit quarters of middle management at a forgotten semiconductor firm in Silicon Valley. This is their corporate guy. Oh, quarterly DRAM yields only until the synergies of the attrition led me to No Clips 360. Here I apply my expertise in stakeholder alignment to dissect corporate earnings and PC hardware supply chain. Oh God. That one's like one of the least interesting ones. Why are they rare? Core. Oh wow, they have ratings. So it's rare that you'll ever see him write anything. So there's that. These people are all core. It's rare you'll see an article from this guy, and it's rare you'll see one from this one. Harmony Evergreen, Heartstrings. As someone who grew up in a sleepy Midwestern town where the only diversity was the pizza toppings, I found my calling devouring indie games that dared to center marginalized voices, which led me straight to No Clips 360 to amplify those stories. I traded a cushy PR gig for this beat because gaming's toxic underbelly, its scandals and fandom meltdowns demand unflinching scrutiny. Oh, all right. So that's the yeah, another person that ooh, that's a good one. Let's see. Traded. All right, so he traded, she traded, and chaos. She traded. So 3 of them traded. So it used these words at least 3 times. How many times did it use what was it? Claude. He used Claude and traded. She used Claude. That's 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 of them used Claude. 3 or 4 of them used traded. I can also see the count at the top because of a dumbass. Traded is in there 3 times. Chaos is in there 4 times. So this is what we have. This is the best that the anti-woke grift could do, right? So they have completely, Geeks and Gamers is dead. Something new needed to come out, and it took him 48 hours to make this. I don't know how long it took him to make this. If it was 48 hours, that's too long. He needs to go back to the drawing board. So we will read one article. I'm not gonna fucking flip through all of these fucking articles and all this bullshit that he's got, probably just scraping the internet and making shit up. And in fact, one I might want to look through here off screen eventually and see how much of this is just copy and pasted from other websites. Like how much is it actually just copying what other people are saying? Grummz unironically might have put all the anti-woke news websites in jeopardy doing this shit. He might have. If everyone goes to this because he's just showing off their channels down here, and this is just basically scraping their channels for news, It's all AI write-ups aggregated from other existing non-AI articles. What a waste. Yeah, absolutely. Nothing creative was even done in here. Woke game doing well. We'd love to see it. Let's see here. So this one is from Colin the Drain Whitaker. It's a 1-minute read. Thank you. Microsoft Gaming's Phil Spencer has retired after 38 years at the company. Effective March 23rd, 2026, Xbox President and Chief Operating Officer Sarah Bond has resigned, making a structured transition in leadership. Phil Spencer will remain in an advisory capacity through the summer to ensure continuity, as stated in the official announcement. That really read weird. Like, Phil Spencer leaves. It's like statement, but it doesn't really feel like anyone. Is that it? Is this it? Oh no, it's AI. It's AI comments. Oh. Asha Samar, previously president of Microsoft Core AI Production Group, steps in as the new executive vice president and CEO of Microsoft Gaming. Reporting directly to Satya Nadella, chief content officer. Reporting to Sharma. What? Sharma brings experience from roles at Instacart and Meta, though her background is centered on AI and operations rather than gaming specifically. By the way, you get the joke, Wargame Dad? These AI writers are better at their jobs than real journos. Get it? Did you get the joke? Yes. Yes. I got the joke. It's like walking into the asylum and all the schizophrenics are talking to each other. Don't they think IGN is woke? Why does this website link to an IGN article under the news feed instead of its own stuff? Because it doesn't do its own stuff. It pulled from that IGN news article. Like this sentence, like, let's see here. Maybe I'm just reading it wrong. Em8er Shamar, previously Xbox's Microsoft CEO product group, steps in as the new executive vice president and CEO of Microsoft Gaming, reporting directly to Satya Nadella. Matt Booty, head of Game Studios, I just must have missed a sentence, has been promoted to the executive president and chief operator, reporting to Sharma. Sharma brings experience from the roles in Instagram and Meta rather than gaming. Specifically, Microsoft emphasizes no layoffs or immediate operational changes in its studio. Matt Booty noted, it is clear there are no organizational changes underway for our studio. Asha outlined priorities including great games, recommending to Xbox fans a new business model, and a matter consisting with corporate messaging. The division, spanning nearly 40 studios and reaching over 500 million monthly active users, continues operations across PC, mobile, and cloud platforms. This shift occurs amid Xbox's 25th year and post acquisition integrations, with metrics suggesting steady, if unremarkable, progression. Like, what is this? This is fucking nothing. Why not say the quotes that Asha said about not using AI slop, even though she's the AI fucking operation? She was the AI operations fucking person. Like, what does this even mean? Like, just unremarkable progress. This says nothing. Tel Aviv couldn't produce a better cognito hazard if they tried. Oh, don't just. So what's even funnier is now we go down here, sources cited. Game. Where though? Like, GameStot, IGN, VGC, R Gamers. So basically, R Gamers. So 2 articles in Reddit, but it's it's is it really like it's basically just scrubbing I guess Reddit and other news articles to write a nothing statement about what happened. It's so simple. It doesn't even go into any of the other stuff that I think they're talking about. Let's take a look. Let's go to fuck it. Let's go to IGN. IGN, they hate IGN. So why are they sourcing IGN? You notice how much longer IGN's article is? Well, he goes into there. And all of this stuff they say, like quotes from what's going on. Like he mentioned this quote. Spencer has named head of this with zero. All of this that was not similarly in it. Spencer's time running with Xbox. You see how they actually wrote an in-depth, yes, very good way to put it. No, an in-depth article about what's going on. But this is the best Grummz AI can come up with. And then, you know, collector's edition secured. What does that mean? Does that mean trust no score? Reviews are bought? So it's talking to itself here. Spencer retires. AI Shima sees his Xbox. This is a glow up. Xbox needed. Freaking good advertisery subscription. And then AI talking to AI. AI talking to AI. Then talking to itself. And then talking to itself again. This is a dead internet site. That's all this is. No one's reading this shit except for us here. Viewers, us here. All 80 of you that came in to watch me today. And you know what? I appreciate all of you very much. So, to make sure that none of you are bots, I'm going to need you to go down just at the bottom of the page and click the like button. Make sure you're all real. It's like the I'm not a robot test. Just helps me out a bunch. So if you're not a robot, you're not an AI, go down there and click liked. Thank you so much, Money. I always knew you weren't a bot. So anyway. Yeah, it's pretty scary, Kimoji, that this is somehow like a news site. I mean, it's going to be scary to me if it actually went somewhere, but I have this feeling that it's just going to fucking drop. Thanks, Reddy. I appreciate it. I'm about my business. That's right. Non-AI test. If this actually went somewhere and he started making money off of this site and this became like a good news source, then yeah, I would be scared. But I just don't feel like it as well. Thanks, Noah. I appreciate it. Good to see I don't have a bunch of bots in my stream. Fake engagement is now public and proud. What the fuck, man? Yeah. I mean, and I don't know what these scores are per se. Like, can I click on this user and see anything about them? And like even the names, injected in my veins, reviews are bought. Yeah, I agree. I'm a Decepticon, so of course I'm a bot. True. But I already knew that about you, Egad. Oh, it would be crazy if Grummz manages to monetize this. How do you tell the AI isn't inflating the visit counts too? I mean, you can't. I mean, these are clearly AI inflating the visitors to it. I'm not going to read another article, but let's look at another one. Here's the welcome to no clips. This is what we do. Wow, that's a lot that they wrote in here. Of course, he doesn't have comments on that one. Let's try the cat scream. Let's try the woke cat game. Let's see here. By Ziggy Pixel Ups. Oh, look at that. More capitals on the first line. More capitals on the first line. Pre-order gang. So bot, bots, and another bot coming in from somewhere else, from old Lorehound Blackwood himself. Like, you can clearly see that to get some engagement on the site to start out with, they used bots. So how would you monetize this knowing that more than likely none of the engagement is real? Like, I wouldn't put ads on this shit, but I'm also an anti-woke hater, so that's not saying much. So that's our boy. That's Grummzy and his new grift. Oh man, it's just insane that this is the world we live in. Talking about Edmund games and then mentioned PS1. Come on. I mean, it, I wonder if like Grummz has opened, like he started his own little pool of words to pull from the game to be like, hey, use these buzzwords because the gamers will enjoy it. The old hat gamers like me, they'll fall for it. They'll believe in the AI slop farm that I've created that has no one buying into it right now. I think he's just blacklisted the slurs. Probably. That would have at least made it a little bit more based. It would have been something.
Too long ago, the masters of the
Whoa, Noah. You're coming in a little too early there. I haven't put you up on screen yet. Calm down. Grok, please make me a website that will beat Kotaku. I mean, this is the Kotaku killer. You can't go wrong with the Kotaku killer on there. We've been needing this site for years. Gaming journalism. I was too quick of an Otter, apparently. Yeah, you're just trying to come in there and take control of my stream. You think because you're a bigger streamer, you can just come in here and do whatever you want? It's plainly desperation, but he's got Elon on his side, and it's unbelievable that he resorted to this. He truly has nothing game-wise or talking point-wise astonishing. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking over his account. Like, he blocked me a while back when I copy pasted a letter of his about Shadow. I mocked him is what I did. So he's been blocked for a while. I go over there every now and again to look what he's said because, a lot of times he says dumb things and it's funny to call him out for it. But other than that, he just slop farms trying to drop as many posts as he can for people to talk to. At this point, he wants people to come in and make fun of him because that's about all he has. Grummz is definitely scraping the absolute bottom of the barrel now for talking points. Yeah. Well, the problem is they only have so many talking points. Woke is not in power anymore. It hasn't been in power for a while, right? We've gotten to this point where it is, and I've clearly this thought came to my head the other day is there was the woke anti-woke wars, right? Where there was an overpush for what I do believe is overly pushed woke narratives into some games and things like that, and into some industries, right? But then it tailored off. It did what the pendulum always does, and it swung back to the other side. And in reality, like most, now we're kind of swinging back towards the middle, right? Everyone got tired of all the woke stuff. Then everyone got tired of all the anti-woke stuff. And now we're in the fall back to like the normalization. The war is over, but the anti-wokers are still in the jungles fighting the war that's been over for decades. They're still coming out here. This game's woke, that game's woke. When in reality, gamers, movie enjoyers, people are just wanting to watch their stuff. They're done. We're at a stalemate. Yes, you could say we're at a stalemate, right? People can make a woke game now and it can do well. People can make a non-woke game now and it can do well. You can make a game with hot chicks and it'll do well because there's an audience for it. I mean, there's an audience for everything. You can't step on a blade of grass without stepping on something, you know, anti-woke or woke. Like if there's a game out there for you, there's a game out there for you. That's what I would say. We have both anti-woke, woke, and not related games being fairly successful. True. Yes. Yes. So, anyways, before he comes at me again on my stream, we got to get to Noah. So, we all know Noah, friend of the channel. I've watched a couple of his videos. I've been in some drama with the guy. And you know, he's kind of the movie version of what I like to do. You know, I talk about a lot of games. He does a lot of talk about the movies and things like that. I'm not all that knowledgeable. Like I'm a goy slop enjoyer when it comes to movies. I'll watch a movie, and if I enjoy it, I enjoy it. A lot of my stuff now is mostly horror if I watch anything. I did recently, I haven't finished it. I need to finish it, and I want to. Recently watched the new Predator movie. I thought it was pretty good. And you know, even then, like my favorite genre of movies that I watch is not something most people won't watch. It's found footage. So Noah is kind of that guy on the opposite side. He's had some troubles, but he's improving his content. Yeah, Badlands was pretty good, but when he makes some of his videos when he makes the videos on the anti-woke and he starts talking about them, especially when it's content that has come up with his own, he makes good points. He has well put together videos. Regardless of the trouble, we know he's going to get better and things like that. But recently, he made a movie, or he made a video. It just came out today, actually. I just saw it. I was thinking of what else am I going to watch on here after talking about Grummz. And we've got anti-woke culture weaponizes 1980s nostalgia. This is something common you see in like anti-woke spaces and things like that. They love to reference the old days of movies, but they don't seem to really understand what those movies meant to the people who watched them, right? Definitely an interesting one. Good. I'm ready for it. They don't seem to understand what like those movies actually meant to the people who watched them. Like it's a narrowed down to their idea of what the movies were, right? Like, and a lot of times it's like in games, it's like, well, there's just not hot chicks in it anymore. And I'm like, well, no, that's not it, right? There were plenty of good movies that came out that didn't have what you would consider hot chicks. But let's see what Noah has to say about the 80s. I was born in the 80s. Grew up in the 90s, of course, because, you know, I was young. In the 84 is when I was there. God, I feel old. But I watched a lot of 80s movies, lived off of a lot of that content. So let's see what Noah has to say about those things and see what opinions I agree with or don't agree with.
So, not too long ago, the Masters of the Universe trailer was released from Amazon MGM Studios, and the response was interesting to say the least.
A question
God.
I get asked a lot
Oh, there you go. You got JDA jump scare.
is, what's next? They've hit every franchise. They've wokeized everything. They've turned everything into this like slop level joke tier Marvel movie. And then it's
Dude, I hate to say it, like I have a light view of like the movie industry. I haven't watched a lot, but I don't see a lot of the newer stuff coming out necessarily have that same Guardians of the Galaxy, Marvel, like back and forth stuff as much anymore, right? Obviously it still happens. There's probably stuff still in the works, but I think the industry knows that people are tired of that kind of that back and forth between characters, right?
like, is there anything else left? And it's, you know, you've seen the meme with the Grim Reaper going through its path of MCU, Star Wars, Star Trek.
Well, if he sounds like a boomer like me, having to bring up and explain memes to all the kids.
Doctor Who. Now they've come for Masters of the Universe.
Huh.
I never watched He-Man. Seen some Skeletor clips. He seems like a cool dude. Let's just do a Skeletor movie. He-Man's a good show. Like the thing is when you look at these, you go back in time to like the 80s and all these shows I watched as a kid. they would probably very much fall under woke. A lot of it was all about kids messaging, being a good person, being I'm trying to remember some of the things that they come up with. The old GI Joe stuff. Well, now you know, GI Joe, save the planet, do things like that. He-Man would have been woke today because he had pronouns. True, he's he-man, but outside of that, like, yeah, the time period of all of those shows in the 80s were very much about teaching values to kids, and a lot of that was being nice to people. I remember watching the old, like, all around the world people are different things and stuff like that. I don't know what irritated so many people about that.
Gee, that's pretty tough talk for the guy who got outed online for stealing a woman's identity to try to sell female smut books under her name because his own AI-generated books weren't selling whatsoever, which, gee, I can't imagine why those weren't selling. Oh, and he also got outed as a wife-beater. Shocker. And of course, the usual...
All right. Here's where we're gonna sweep a little bit. Not sweeping, I've seen this been brought up multiple times with JDA.
His own AI-generated books weren't selling whatsoever, which, gee, I can't imagine why those weren't selling. Oh, and he...
So, when I've looked at this document, this is not a hearing on request of domestic violence order. This isn't a document saying that he has a restraining order. This is for the hearing of the restraining order, right? So to me, while there's definitely something that happened domestic, I will not call JDA a wife beater for that. This doesn't prove that he's a wife beater. I have had a very close friend of mine, whose ex-wife clawed him to death, clawed the shit out of him, punched him, and when he grabbed her, she called the police, and he went to jail for domestic abuse, and it was eventually thrown out of court for that because the cop who was on there lied to death. He didn't get clawed to death. I was being over hyperbolic, but he had claw marks. And this friend that I know is like, he wasn't like a professional MMA fighter, but he had done some amateur MMA fighting matches. The guy had been a boxer his whole life. If he had hit this girl, he'd have killed her. So I'm always hesitant to see a piece of information like this and then immediately call them a wife beater. I don't know the intent behind this. Like, this isn't even a document saying that the restraining order is there. This is the hearing for the restraining order. The restraining order may not have gone through. So that's what I'm going to say on it. That's my view on it. I'm more than willing to call people out for anything, rape and things like that, but I need actual evidence besides this. And if it's there, it's probably in the public documents.
He also got outed as a wife beater. Shocker. And of course, the usual suspects over on Nerdrotic's side of things were acting exactly the same as you'd probably expect as well.
I think we need a race swapped He-Man. I don't know about you guys. We need an Indian He-Man who says, I have to shower!
Damn, bro, you got the whole squad laughing.
While there are definitely legitimate concerns,
it's sad because it's made like racist jokes just like overused and unfunny to me. It's not even creative.
Concerns to have about the upcoming latest installment in the He-Man franchise, probably most notably that this is the latest blockbuster film to star Jared Leto in a major role, who somehow still manages to get roles even after everything he's been accused of, and also now appearing in the Epstein files of all things. Unfunny. Most of the usual suspects are simply upset at this film supposedly being woke propaganda, claiming that the fact that
they joked so much it became their reality. Yeah, it isn't even good edgy humor. I agree, Noah. It's just, I mean, it gets to the point where you say it so much in this public setting to try and get a rise out of people around you that, yeah, people are going to start agreeing with you. Oh God, I'm still gonna, all right. I'm going to turn this down a little bit more so it doesn't overplay the video. Boom. But yeah, it's safe edgy. It is safe edgy. It's not like flat out saying a slur, but just enough that people can know that, oh, hey man, I say it off screen, right? You know I do. Edgelords back then would just keep pushing the boundaries. And if they get banned, they would just make a new account. True. This is true. Or like normal people, we just say it in private with our group of friends.
That Man-at-Arms is being played by Idris Elba in this film, and also the fact that He-Man has a pronoun nameplate on his desk, means that clearly this film is gonna be woke garbage. Oh no, pronouns, the horror.
Sorry, did you want to get immersed in our world? Yeah, well, guess what? Fucking pronouns!
But I think one of the most
Dude. Oh, that guy's never gonna live that down for the rest of his life. Babyface. Ugh. I like there are definitely edgier jokes I can appreciate, but the stuff Ryan, Geeks and Gamers, etc. say isn't funny. It just makes them look rather foolish. Yeah, heels versus babyface. I like the remix. Yeah, I mean it's. I'm harping on it. It's just sad at that. It gets to the point where it's just sad.
interesting aspects of this is that even though the anti-woke crowd appears to be very upset at this movie for betraying the original show and making it all woke now, they seem to have forgotten that the original show was initially berated by conservative audiences at the time for its often very on-the-nose gay undertones. But now, for some reason, it seems like the
kid, I will say, I don't remember that, but I was also a little kid when I was watching it, so I didn't realize I was watching gay undertones.
Anti-woke crowd has very conveniently forgotten this and now is attempting to act like it's been quote-unquote wokeified in the year of 2026. Funny how that works. And interestingly enough, this is a larger trend we have seen in recent memory, people on the anti-woke side of things utilizing 80s nostalgia and almost weaponizing it in some cases for their own personal political agenda. For years and years now, we've seen Hollywood mining the 1980s for the best IPs to bring back to life for a nostalgia-hungry audience. We've seen the A-Team come back. We've seen Ghostbusters come back twice. We've seen Blade Runner come back. We saw Indiana Jones come back twice as well, unfortunately. Even just last year alone, we saw the Naked Gun, Tron, the Smurfs, Predator, and the Running Man all come back. So why exactly is Hollywood, and also anti-woke culture, which we'll get into, so obsessed with the 1980s?
So what should I expect?
This is interesting to see, because my thing is it's the... Jeez, I'm dying. Give me a sec. I mean, to me, it's, they're trying to find, to me, this is my schizo theory. We'll see what Noah has to say, but trying to find that nostalgia, like nostalgia tends, for a while at least, used to breed more people coming in to watch it, and it still does in a way. Like you bring back to the crowd that used to love a game or a movie or a franchise, they want to see it continue. You think back in the days with like Alien, and then Predator came out, and everybody was begging for like an Alien Predator mashup until we got it. But so, and then we got it multiple times. But it's franchises that you grew up with that you want to see longevity of, you want to see more of it, and the gaming industry wants to sell it to you because they think that you want to buy it. Sometimes I think without actually understanding what people saw in the originals or what the originals were based off of. It's like new directors coming in and wanting to put their spin on a series that already doesn't exist. They do the nostalgia thing, but they usually just tack on the generic plot, which is the story. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting at. Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't happening on what people were hoping for, because people have an idea in their head of what they, I mean, look at Star Wars. There's been contention with Star Wars all the way through its history. You had the original trilogy, of course, the GOAT. But even then, around the original trilogy, there was releases of the original trilogy that came out that changed things that were absolutely condemned. CGI was added in and things like that nobody wanted and people hated. Then you get to episodes 1, 2, and 3 and how people absolutely hated that, and went from. And then now you see the new series that is hated. I just like the new series a lot. I liked episodes 1, 2, and 3, even though they were pretty much hated. I did have some problems with it, with the way in my head I saw Darth Vader going to the dark side and things like that. But that's the way it is. Yeah, the 90s re-releases. I did see Egad said, what I really doesn't realize is that Fandom Plus has a bottom line. They're kind of compelled to hyper focus on these things because that's what their readers expect. Yeah, I mean, I get that, but when it comes, like, especially when it comes to JDA, right? Because if you don't know Otterly, Egad writes for Fandom Plus. I've read his articles. I've read his articles on stream, and he does pretty well with his articles. There's not necessarily a lot that I disagree with, and he digs pretty deep into some of the things people don't think about. But if you're going to write the articles and those things about these kind of gamings, they're going to find the critique for them. And in some cases, when it comes to a lot of these news cycles that are on, say, the more anti-woke side, you get it turns into rage bait. Yeah, I know he does. Okay, I didn't know if you knew or not. I like Egad. Egad's good people. And you know me, I'm willing to talk to anybody, no matter what side of the aisle they're on. But you look at Geeks and Gamers, you look at what was the other one? Park Place, which has now been sucked into it. Eventually, Kotaku, even you go back to Kotaku, you go back to some of these other gaming sites from back in the woke days. When you're doing that content, that is pretty much, it's getting clicks because it's either rage bait or it's crossing the line of rage bait. It only lasts for so long. It doesn't breed longevity for it. But then again, your other choice is to write articles that are the same as everybody else's, and you're in a saturated market, right? Yeah, I generally hate the news articles like how X guy said whatever, and it's like gas and faint on the couch, then move on. Park Place definitely went down that anti-woke rabbit hole. Yeah, and it hurt them. Geeks and Gamers is the same thing, that they went straight down that rabbit hole and dug into it. Kotaku, even a lot of the problems that Kotaku has now is because of the way they were rage baiting gamers, right? Yeah, you can talk about people like Alyssa and those other ones writing their feminist articles and things like that, but ultimately the articles were written in such a way that it caused the demographic that went and clicked on it to be angry for it. So yeah.
Think 80s?
I like the 80s.
Now, Hollywood has always been about bringing back nostalgic properties for a really long time now, make no mistake. But for some reason, they seem very distinctly obsessed with the 1980s. If we look at the amount of 90s IPs that have been brought back by Hollywood, or even just 2000s, it's actually a far smaller list than the 1980s. Even now, is Gen X the audience the easiest to cater to with bringing back 1980s IPs enters their 50s, Hollywood still can.
Yeah, I agree, GB. The extremist takes just don't help. It's what's kind of driven the divide in politically between people, where it's become, if you don't believe this side, you're woke. If you don't believe this side, you're anti-woke. If you have an opinion against me, then you're this or that. I see it less, though, and I'm going to be honest with this since I've started doing this. I see it less in the more woke circles, I would say, or at least the people that I deal with, I don't think are like these completely what you would have the idea of what is woke, right? Noah, I think, is more of a middle of the road person, even though I would consider like probably a lot of his views more left views or more woke views. Trying to think of some others. A lot of the guys who come into my chat, Grizzle, and all of them, it's different. There's I think more of us in the middle, especially when I can see like Simon and Egad argue online and then talk about it differently, and then go and then still be able to make up, and not make up, but like still be able to say, hey, yeah, we disagree on this, but you don't deserve to go to hell or die or whatever, get kirked. John F. Trent, who also writes for Fandom Plus, used to write for the Park Place, but he left after they refused to publish an article he wrote about the LGBTQ. Was it because I know I've talked with Trent, or I've tried to talk with Trent, but he doesn't like me apparently. Um, was it like very negative? Was there something over the top for it? Or open to hearing folks out? Yeah, I agree. No, it's more about hearing folks out. And there are some things that I'm just down the middle on overall, like you said. Yeah, I think most of us are. I don't know. I've just done like, you just don't like the word anymore. What are you talking about? Anti-woke, woke? Let me keep going because I'll keep engaging with chat all night.
Continues
woke.
to mine
Yeah,
the
I agree. It's become a slur in a sense.
1980s for even the smallest of films to bring back. And inevitably, it's not just Hollywood that seems very specifically interested in the 1980s. Modern-day American politics also do. Take a look at Donald Trump's own presidential campaign, which, funny enough, was modeled directly after Ronald Reagan's own original campaign from the 1980s, even down to the original campaign slogan, "Make America Great Again." Almost as if they're trying to claim that America...
No, I should have known that lore. Oh man, I'm off base. Well, I try not to pay too much attention to politics. I get a little heated when that happens. But that's interesting.
Culture was at its peak in the 1980s, which isn't entirely true, but more on that later. But why exactly is the 1980s such a vast well so many people want to draw from, whether it's anti-woke grifters wanting to sell a narrative or politicians wanting to win an election? Well, that's the question I want to answer today. I want to look exactly at why the 1980s seems to be a decade held in such reverence by people and why it's often very intentionally weaponized by people on the anti-woke side of things. The 1980s is treated almost as this beacon of hope, a sacred decade that anything pulled from is automatically going to be treated with this almost mystical reverence, no matter how niche or inconsequential what's being pulled from actually is.
As it should be. That was my childhood, Otter.
To get a better understanding of this, we first need to look at the exact kinds of films that were being made in the 1980s, which actually means we have to look at what happened to Hollywood in the previous decade. In the 1970s, the film industry experienced something of a revolution. This was the era that the traditional studio system of Hollywood completely collapsed, largely due to the major studios losing direct control of theaters across America, since initially various theaters were controlled by film studios before an antitrust law passed in 1947 resulted in studios simply acting as distributors for a variety of films to be shown in theaters, and theaters themselves no longer being owned directly by studios. As a result, many studios were in dire financial straits, with Paramount getting acquired by Gulf and Western, a giant media conglomerate, in order to act as a giant advertising firm for them and create various ad campaigns, which were meant to directly endorse the company. What do you know? Not too far off from how Paramount is now after the Skydance merger. But perhaps the main good thing to come out of the collapse of the original Hollywood studio...
Please stop ruining my childhood and my fucking... present day
system was the fact that now an entirely new generation of directors were brought on by a variety of studios.
Do you look at like the medium conglomerate now, like it obviously probably pales in comparison to this, but it's just all interconnected, and people want to act like the woke media, or not the woke, the left media is like this untrustworthy beast, but there's so many of them that are under control of the Trump administration as well. Like it's all one big thing where everybody has ties with each other, and they all lead back to Epstein. I've been functionally ruined giving that perspective of Paramount Pictures. I mean, current Paramount Pictures has been pretty low, but yes.
But having to commit to one particular studio and follow their often heavily filtered, very censored process of filmmaking. Finally, directors and filmmakers were allowed to truly express themselves and make films they never could have made before under the old system, and the studios couldn't really afford to turn down any of these new up-and-coming directors, since that would mean losing capital even further. As a result, this was the decade that some of the most renowned American directors of the past 50 years, people like Martin Scorsese, Steven Spielberg, George Lucas, Francis Ford Coppola, and others all rose to prominence since they were more or less given unlimited creative freedom, and the ability to speak to a younger, more restless group of people who had become some of their most devoted audiences. Films like Apocalypse Now, Network, A Clockwork Orange, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, The Deer Hunter, the original Muppet movie, Jaws, The Godfather, Grease, Alien, Gone in 60 Seconds. The original one, not the Nicolas Cage movie made later at Disney, which is by far the worst version. Taxi Driver, and probably most famous of all, These were all films that came out in the 1970s as a result, an era highlighted by creative freedom and a lack of overly tight control from a Hollywood studio system. Also, this decade had
It's almost like if you give the passionate people creative freedom, they'll make creative work. But the funny thing is like all of these people got the chance, like all of these new directors and all this stuff got their chance to like make their mark on history, writers, directors, all of that other stuff, and make these great franchises, but then consolidated all of the power again so that no creative writing is allowed anymore, and it's just copy pasted slop with aliens slapped onto it or another franchise.
Had Disney's Robin Hood, which was one of the key cornerstones of the founding of the furry fandom, so obviously it was very important for that.
Really? Is that lore? Like, I need Grizzle. Is it lore that the that Robin Hood is like the founding of the furry community? That can't be true. It's like one of my favorite movies growing up as a kid. This was a legendary time for up-and-coming filmmakers from the 70s for sure. Yeah, and now you look at the industry, and not saying that like Spielberg owns everything, but all of the people that were making money off of it back then consolidated power to the point that you can't, like, the indie movie industry is not the same as like the gaming industry. Anyone can pick up software cheap enough to be able to code in their basement still to make something like we're, playing here now. Now I'm sure they're, they may have taken more for this pixel art and all those things. It's not, you still have to be creative to do it, but the cost window to be able to do it is a lot lower in the gaming industry than it is in the movie industry. I've even seen like movie industry titles and stuff, like indie movies and stuff like that, costing, hundreds of thousands of dollars just to make versus, no, that's like saying Aesop founder furries because he told stories about animals. That's why you see so many furries in their 60s. We'll have to put a pin in that one because I might have to argue about that.
That too. Maid Miriam and Robin Hood are like the.
Yeah, okay. Money is right. I think money has that point, because I don't know that Robin Hood might have for some people, but Space Jam, that's a whole different level of I could see that being a jumping off point for furries. Anthropomorphism has existed for eons, saying something like you're as clever as a fox isn't found on furry fandom. Well, true. But at some point, people did watch some of this stuff and thought, I want to be like that. Space Jam is the one that leads you to the dark side. Oh God, Lola Bunny destroyed a generation, generations of people.
The mother and father of the furry fandom. There really wasn't a decade quite like the 1970s in terms of film, just simply because of the circumstances surrounding it, and arguably there might never be one quite like it again, exactly because.
I'll check it out. The fandom. I'll check it out and we'll see.
Of that. However, when it came to the 1980s, which of course is the decade that most anti-woke grifters seem to be constantly calling back to, the film landscape began to change drastically and a new kind of studio system began to gradually take shape. Rather than purely director-driven, unconventional movies marketed towards the counterculture being the norm and the most profitable films of the decade, we began to see the tide turn drastically in the 1980s. I think a perfect example of the audience's tastes in films drastically shifting in the 1980s is looking at none other than the year of 1982. This year had 4 major experimental films, 3 of which were sci-fi: Disney and Steven Spielberg's Tron, Ridley Scott's Blade Runner, and John Carpenter's The Thing. All very unique and distinctive experimental takes on the sci-fi genre. The other big experimental film from this year was The King of Comedy, which is the latest feature from none other than Martin Scorsese, one of the stars of the countercultural film movement who had risen up in the previous decade, of course. However, unlike Scorsese's previous films, this was his first certifiable commercial failure, which in the 1970s would have been unheard of, given that he was one of the main faces changing the landscape of cinema. This was a worrying sign of big changes coming to Hollywood Hollywood, and in addition to this, all the previous experimental sci-fi films I mentioned before, Tron, Blade Runner, and The Thing, also all flopped. Of course, all three of these films would later go on to become big cult classics and also certifiable touchstones of the sci-fi.
Why did he mention Tron? From what I recall, it only became a cult classic, but really wasn't that successful. It was only exceptional because it experimented with special effects. I thought he did say it became a cult classic. Because, I mean, while I wasn't a big Tron fan, he did mention, like, hold on, let's go back. We'll go back.
Another big experimental film from this year was The King of Comedy, which is the latest feature from none other than Martin Scorsese, one of the stars of the countercultural film movement who had risen up in the previous decade, of course. However, unlike Scorsese's previous films, this was his first certifiable commercial failure, which in the 1970s would have been unheard of, given that he was one of the main faces changing the landscape of cinema. This was a worrying sign of big changes coming to Hollywood, and in addition to
Tron is one of those movies you remember existing but don't remember anything from it. Yeah, like Avatar. True. It's like it was like cultural enough, but you don't even remember if you watched it or
this,
not.
all the previous experimental sci-fi films I mentioned before, Tron, Blade Runner, and The Thing, also all flopped.
Dude, oh, egad, you just hit my nostalgia brain. I loved The Last Starfighter. I have a Blu-ray copy of The Last Starfighter sitting in my under my TV. That's I don't know why that movie hit me, but The Last Starfighter was just like, I loved that movie.
Of course, all three of these films would later go on to become big cult classics and also certifiable touchstones of the sci-fi genre in their own right, but at the time of their release, they weren't exactly commercially successful. The big runaway success of 1982, which would cement the kinds of films Hollywood would be pushing this decade, was none other than E.T. the Extraterrestrial. This film was not a complex feature made with a counterculture in mind, and also was not a film designed with the distinct intent of getting its audience to relate the events of the film to current ongoing political struggle, unlike most of the films of the 1970s. Even Star Wars itself was doing this back in the 1970s, given the fact George Lucas intentionally designed Star Wars as an allegory for his perspective on the Vietnam War. The Empire was created to represent America at the time, and the rebels were designed.
It wasn't just on the Vietnam. I mean, yeah, there was an allegory into there on the Vietnam War, but he had a bunch of other connections into it. I mean, obviously, the movie connections of samurai, Western, things like that. But also a lot of the Empire was built off of, I remember watching a documentary on it somewhere, off of a figure in the Holy Roman Empire. A lot of the Empire was built based off of that as well. And, everything else, which Star Wars has been political since forever. You want to talk about like episode 3, where this speech that Palpatine gives as he's taking over the Senate and basically cementing power. A lot of it is almost word from word from Bush's speech when we were going into the Iraq-Afghanistan war.
To represent Viet Cong.
You did something very interesting with Star Wars.
What did you just fucking type, Money? Are you serious? Never watched Star Wars. I can't even believe that. What's funny about the Vietnam War is that Star Wars also followed American Graffiti, which was a movie about a period of time before JFK was assassinated. Yeah, I mean, it shows that you can have multiple ideas. I'll have to look up that one. That one's not one that I've heard before. But yeah, you can follow up multiple ideas. You look at the rebel forces; they're definitely the Viet Cong. The Empire follows that Senate being taken over by a Roman figure to become the Roman Empire. I've never watched Star Wars 2. Never was that deep into sci-fi cinema. I can't believe I have this many. I'll let it slide. American Graffiti was Lucas's second film before he made Star Wars. Oh, I haven't seen it then. I'll have to go take a look at it. Boom, boom, boom.
Star Wars, if you think about it, the good guys are the rebels. They're using asymmetric warfare against a highly organized empire. I think we call those guys terrorists today. We call them Mujahideen, we call them Al-Qaeda.
When I did it, they were Viet Cong.
Exactly. So were you thinking of that at the time?
E.T., however, seems to strip itself of this
To be fair with me, though, I grew up in a Star Trek battle. Oh, you're one of those. You're one of those, money.
entirely not wanting to
His first was THX1138.
tie itself to any ongoing political or cultural movements. Instead, this film was a very simple, very marketable film, the concept of which could be summed up in a single sentence. It was a simple love story between an alien and a boy, with the titular alien trying to phone his way home. And this is exactly the kind of film that would pervade Hollywood for the foreseeable future. Gone were the days of the gritty, complex counterculture film, and in was the highly marketed blockbuster event that could be marketed to the biggest audience possible and highly merchandised as well.
Oh no, not the modern audience.
Of course, that's not a knock against 1980s films, quite the opposite in fact. This decade provided so many timeless American films, such as Raiders of the Lost Ark, The Goonies, Back to the Future, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Gremlins, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and plenty more. But there was a noticeable shift in the types of films Hollywood really began to push forward in this decade, as opposed to the 1970s. As the longtime Hollywood producer Don Simpson, who produced such highly marketable action films such as Top Gun for Paramount and The Rock for Disney, put it, these were high-concept films, as in films that can be summed up in a single sentence and distributed to the widest audience possible. And in an interesting sort of way, the extreme push for only these kinds of films to be pushed forward by Hollywood actually ended up being a perfect representation of the kind of mentality that was overtaking the 1980s overall that hadn't existed in the decades prior. The 1960s and 1970s were the decades where the civil rights movement really took hold, with many different minorities coming forward and taking a stand for better rights. Most notable amongst these were African Americans who sought out better rights through the Black Power movement of the late 1960s. Following the assassination of the truly compassionate activist and lead figure of the civil rights movement, that being Martin Luther King Jr. in 1968, civil unrest broke out, and many were unsure of what the future of
You guys are killing me in chat. The Rock is a great action film. Yeah, that I agree with. People, yeah, I, you know, obviously I already kind of knew at the time, growing up, and with my kids, we watched, like my daughter and me, when it came to Star Wars, we didn't start with the trilogies. We actually started with, what's it called? The Clone Wars. And she really fell in love with the Clone Wars and, you know, Anakin and Ahsoka and characters like that, going through the whole thing. Then it got into some of the more recent cartoons that she enjoyed. So that's kind of the thing we went into. We still haven't sat down and watched the trilogies. She's 11, but I also want my son to watch it with me. But she does already know that Anakin turns into Vader. So not really a drop there for it.
equal rights.
And money, you're just dropping bangers today.
For minorities would look like. So a number of young artists and filmmakers took to expressing their thoughts on everything going on in the nation at the time through the only medium.
Here. Let's do this real quick because I want to read through it. Boop. Oh, I keep making it. There we go. So, oh, it's you again. As you see, I haven't gotten far. These vile spirits are persistent. You helped me, little one. I have spent many years here, so I will be able to help you as well. You are not from the spirit world? No, I am a spirit traveler like yourself. Oh, I forgot that part. I see you have reached another sacred grove. Once the stones are awakened, you can use them to travel between groves. That's cool. Sacred groves are scattered all over the spirit world. I'm not interested in the mysteries of the spirit world. I came here for only one purpose. The young deer. He belongs to you, doesn't he? He is my son. All I want is to take him back. Have patience, Ro. Do not despair. You know my name? Yes. Everything here is connected to you. How could that be? Your family is tied to this world. Look at your bracelet. My brother made it for me years ago. It feels different. All your totems gain a powerful energy from the spirit world. Try to focus on them and you will feel their power. And there we go. Now we learn about the other mechanic, totems, that it looks like you can add in here, and they'll give you abilities. First turn, +1 on the next attack. First turn, +1 card. First turn, +2 shield, and give a random enemy a weakness. I actually think I'm going to go with the shield. I've always been a more defensive player anyway. Ever seen a living moose? No, I actually haven't, but I have seen how freaking big they are. Moose are gigantic. If Simon's still in chat, he might have seen one. I'm assuming moose are all over Canada because I'm not very cultured, but but yeah, they're crazy big and super aggressive, man. If you get caught with a moose, you better be somewhere that you can get somewhere safe, because they will fuck your world up. Actually, what I really like they did with that show. Which show was it? Let's see. Anyway, so that's the other part of the game. I'll be flipping in here occasionally when I've got text in, just to keep going. Oh, like this. Olvi, he's calling for me. I think it came from the bridge to the east. Make haste, Ro. Find him. Clone Wars, yes, Clone Wars. I enjoyed, like, I am a Filoni fan. Like, a lot of people hate Filoni, but I like what he did with integrating stuff from the Legends and things like that into the current Star Wars. So I've always thought he should have more control, but we'll see. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I definitely think it's more fleshed out in the way it is. So yeah, I'll occasionally be stopping if I have writing, things like that come up, because I want to get the whole story of the game while I'm going through it, because I do plan to try and beat this game before we go out. Do I have full health? Am I full health? I think so. All right. Now, boop, back to the 80s and the Otter.
They knew how to express themselves through, that being the medium of film. Films like Taxi Driver, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Star Wars were all direct results of that, and of course those were all films released in the 1970s. But by the 1980s, some certain groups of people were getting pretty uncomfortable seeing the exact kinds of injustices that in many ways were being directly caused by them being portrayed so blatantly and so casually in Hollywood to a broad audience of young people and old people alike. As a result, this group, mostly made up of right-wingers and people
Lucas wore flannels, so he can't be all that bad. I remember reading about a interview that Filoni had with Lucas, but trying to get hired, and he basically came in there and Lucas like asked him a question about Star Wars, and he started going into like Star Wars theory and lore, and basically just nerded out the whole interview, and then left, and he's like, there's no way I got the job. And then eventually he did and became what he is now. But I wish I watched Clone Wars when it was on Cartoon Network. It looked cool in hindsight. Yeah, it's a pretty good show overall. The Tactical Templar intro gets me every time. We love Tactical Templar here. We love fake Christians.
People that today would likely be considered anti-woke longed for the days before the civil rights movement, when injustices weren't publicized and they could get away with mistreating minorities with no repercussions whatsoever. This was a mentality felt by conservative audiences in the late 1970s and early 1980s, and funny enough, a certain presidential campaign was about to directly market off of this audience's seemingly nostalgic memories of times from the past, when civil rights weren't publicized. And that presidential campaign was none other than that of Ronald Reagan. For those unaware, although if you're watching this video based on the thumbnail, you probably are aware, but Ronald Reagan was the 40th President of the United States and widely renowned for his conservative policies. Ronald Reagan is a very interesting case because seeing the conservative audience that was around at the time and seemingly pining for the days before the civil rights movement and before injustices against minorities were made much more public, and before they had to deal with scrutiny for singling people out or isolating people of color with their rhetoric, not too unlike a certain group that also just happens to exist today. Gee, funny how that works. Reagan realized exactly what he could do to easily and very succinctly appeal to this ideology in order to secure his place in office.
Ronald Reagan is far more woke than people realize. Oh, I believe it. Money. What could I actually haven't watched that much Synthetic Man content. I think the last thing that I ever saw of some Synthetic Man was the Fallout takes about the interracial relationship. But other than that, no, I haven't seen much of him. Though I know EGAD has mentioned sometimes talking, or I guess watching some of his videos or takes on something. I've just never got around to it.
He decided to model his entire presidential campaign after feeding into nostalgia for the 1950s, aka the decade just before the civil rights movement. And he decided to cap this campaign off with the slogan, "Make America Great Again." Huh, gee, I wonder where I've heard that one before.
The weak will be purged, and the strongest will thrive, free to live as they see fit. They'll make America great again!
What the hell are you talking about?
More on that later, of course. With this campaign, Reagan pretty easily earned the trust instantly of conservative voters who were convinced he was gonna bring things back to when America was great again. Like when minorities didn't have the rights that they had in the 1980s, huh? What do you know? It should also be noted that in 2019, a previously concealed phone call of Ronald Reagan calling black people monkeys when discussing them was leaked, which was already pretty telling of his exact mentality when enacting this campaign and many of his policies throughout his presidency.
On the heels of President Trump using disparaging imagery to describe African nations, new tapes have just been released by the National Archives that reveal similar language used by the late President Ronald Reagan. Reagan referred to leaders of African nations as, quote, monkeys, and then President Nixon gets in his own dig. Here you go.
And last night, I tell you, to watch that thing on television, as I did, to see those monkeys from those African countries, and they're still uncomfortable wearing it.
All right. Kind of based, Reagan.
Well, and then the tail wags the dog there, doesn't it? Yeah. The tail wags the dog.
He also initially opposed there being a
What a time it was back then.
Martin Luther King Jr. Day, since he didn't feel like a black activist being celebrated was beneficial to his particular vision of making.
Yeah, Ronald Reagan signed a gun control bill in 1967, also signed the nation's first no-fault divorce law in 1969 while serving as governor of California. It's like that thing where like you never want to learn about the people that you heard great things about. You start looking into our history, there's always dirty little things with it. When it comes to government in general, they're never for the people on any side anymore, especially now to the point that we've gotten to where they would rather have complete control of the votes than actually have the people vote on items and things like that. Yeah, it's a woke and anti-woke, though there are some arguments, if I remember right, on that 1967 bill that it was done for a ratio. It is still a woke thing getting rid of the gun bills, but it was done for a racial reason, right? To try and keep black Americans from being able to get guns.
America Great Again, as detailed in this 2007 article that discussed many of Ronald Reagan's quote-unquote innocent mistakes. I will be linking this article down below my sources list if you'd like to see the full thing, but it's pretty telling and also very enlightening just how many times Reagan did this sort of thing in general. There was the time he claimed the Voting Rights
Act. Yeah, it was done
Act
against Black Panther, but it's a shoe in for further legislation goes against 2A. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you think even the right side of politics wants Americans to have guns, you are far fetched to believe that they, want that. All the stuff that's happening even right now, I expect that if the current administration does win and completely controlling the votes, guns will come next. But the problem with that is there's so many Americans that have guns, it's a touchy subject. It's one thing to try and take away free speech or like the Fourth Amendment that's constantly trampled on by government. And that's been happening for years. It's one thing for those small things that people don't necessarily take notice of. It's another thing when you start saying, hey, I'm going to take away the thing that you have to defend yourself against me. Then Americans really start to get fucking uppity.
Which had finally granted African Americans the right to vote was something that had been quote-unquote humiliating the South. Of course, referring to white Southerners. And also, there was the time when Reagan supported Bob Jones University, which was about to lose its tax-exempt status due to holding onto its ban on interracial marriage. And also the time he fired 3 different members of the Civil Rights Commission from his administration. Yeah, clearly these were all just happy accidents, nothing racially biased whatsoever. Reagan admittedly knew exactly what he was doing with this, and his campaign also intentionally utilized nostalgia for the 1950s in order to secure the confidence of a conservative audience in the 1980s.
Well, this is not even like a new tactic. Well, I mean, obviously from back then, it's always about every generation thinks it was better in the olden days, right? As things change, people don't want to change with it. You just want to keep living on your life the way you had it before. It happens with like with computers on smaller scale things. Like I remember my grandfather never wanting to have a phone, into his 80s because he just didn't want to learn the technology. It wasn't part of his generation. It's the same thing. It's the good old days where he could just write a letter and have it sent on horseback on a dinosaur across, Pangea. People don't like change, so they always have this false idea of what it was before, right? We're talking about things like the civil rights movements where there was a lot of shitty shit going on. There's people who talk about the World War II, the greatest. I miss the days before I could mute myself. All right, damaged. The greatest generation, but you look at the problems that were around in even that day and age, and things that were going on. People hate progress. And our brains are so bad at remembering things that we're going to build that nostalgia out of it. My sister used a flip phone for these reasons. She's the kind of person where she knows she had a smartphone, she'd bury her nose in it all the time. So funny enough, my wife, when I first met her, she didn't have a smartphone. And she just didn't want to get one, or actually it wasn't like she didn't want to do it for the same reason of not wanting to be stuck on the phone. She just didn't ever want to upgrade to one, and I upgraded her to one. But yeah, I understand that nostalgia. My grandfather just didn't want to learn it. We eventually got him a flip phone so that we could contact him, or he could contact us in case of emergencies. But yeah, people just don't like to change.
This ended up securing his spot in office and also creating a slight push against civil rights movements and minorities. While this, of course, wasn't enough to quell the movement entirely, history would repeat itself inevitably about 30 years later in 2015, when something suspiciously similar happened in relation to a certain presidential election as well. Yes, of course, none other than Donald Trump intentionally copied the exact kinds of methods that had worked so well for Reagan's campaign in the 1980s, catering to a conservative audience's nostalgic feelings for a specific time period, and also utilizing it to not only win the election, but also very intentionally undermine minorities and attempt to segregate them further. Huh, gee, funny how that happened twice. However, instead of utilizing nostalgia for the 1950s, Trump utilized nostalgia for the 1980s for his particular election.
The thing is, when it comes to like, when you're, I died again. When it comes to politics, one of the easiest ways you can try and get people on your side is to create an enemy. Right now, like and you've been seeing in politics forever. We talk about like the border and everything that's happening with ICE and all that stuff right now. The government has successfully turned immigrants into the enemy. They're all rapists and murderers. They're all this and that. So they've created the enemy of this. What the government has also managed to do, and both sides are at fault for this, and what's causing it is they've made the left and the right the enemies. So now if you're on the left, it doesn't matter if you're farther left than I am, you're the enemy. If you're farther right than I am, you're the enemy. It's very polarizing because it's very easy to run a campaign on people's worrying about an enemy, right? If the left wins, they're going to trans your kids. If the right wins, black people are going to be put back into camps. I mean, Mexicans, I guess now is what happened. So and it's very easy. The border has always been a contention they've been building it on, and I mean, African Americans have been one that they've been using for years. You can oh, what was that? Oh yeah. You can ask me those questions as a future reference since I'm in chat, and I'm also the one who made the video anyway. Oh, talking about EGAD? Yeah. I think he knows that. He knows who you are. Why does he keep showing clips of Nuxtaku? Oh. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, Noah's in here. He could tell you why he does it. Nux is more on the political side of it, but he's doing that very same thing, right?
Which, in a lot of ways, proved to be even more dangerous of a tool than 1950s nostalgia. While the Make America Great Again slogan technically started with Reagan, Trump was the one who truly embodied it and took it to the extreme. Especially due to all the memorable media produced during the 1980s, that being all the high-concept films produced during the rejuvenation of Hollywood's studio system, it made it even easier for Trump to sell this type of ideology to people than it was for Reagan for the 1950s. And even outside of Trump, this is a tactic many anti-woke grifters use as well. People like Critical Drinker, Nerdrotic, Heel vs. Babyface, Metatron, John Della Rose, Disparu, That Star Wars Girl, Snarky J, and plenty more all do tend to intentionally reference the 1980s as an era that totally wasn't woke, and is an era where clearly everybody knew better, and we should go back to that.
Are you fucking dumb?
It is interesting because they also often do try to act like media from the 1980s wasn't woke by the standards they often present in their videos. A good example of this is Critical Drinker discussing.
Yeah, Nuxtaku is alright, so originally he was just like originally he just made videos where he showcased hentai and lolly porn videos, but lightly censored to his child audience. And then he started to move into the more commentary community style thing before he just completely twisted into politics because he started getting called out for his connections to Shadman. I think that's why he did it. And now is in connection with like people like Tectone and Tactical Templar and all that other little group that like to do the political grift. But here we go into Aliens.
Discussing the TV series Alien Earth and trying to act like it's woke propaganda. And also trying to act like the original Alien movie totally wasn't woke at all by the standards he presents here. It should also be noted that according to this article, Critical Drinker is the same guy who found himself in court at one point for the accusation of assaulting an 11-year-old boy. He was apparently found not guilty, but only because the Crown
did not wish to proceed with the conviction, and Jordan of 3 Roseville Bank was not found guilty.
Didn't want to proceed with the conviction, also according to this article, so take that as you will.
Well, that could mean a variety of things, right? If I'm going to be fair, and I don't like Drinker, out of a lot of the video, the EFAP guys and things like that, I really don't like Drinker. He's shown that he's a liar. There's a lot of reasons they could drop the conviction. It could be that something did happen, but they don't have enough evidence. It could be that nothing happened. It could be that, there's a lot of reasons. So I don't want to speculate on my side on the idea of this happening, right? It's It's kind of lowbrow.
Let's see what he had to say.
Wow, I've been on quite the roller coaster ride with Alien Earth. The first episode seemed to confirm my hopes. There was action and spectacle, gorgeous visuals and production design, a talented cast, gory body horror, sinister corporate conspiracies, grizzled looking crew.
Egad, you're speaking to me, actually. So when I first started watching like Critical Drinker content, and it was never like I went and watched him. It was usually around something like EFAP or something like that. Critical Drinker has this thing that he does, especially when it's a new movie that just came out or something like that. Endymion has the same problem. He sits in these groups of like 9 dudes, and he doesn't say anything until someone prompts him to say something. And then, yes, he just parrots some idea that someone else has already said. He doesn't have his own opinion. And when he does make his videos to try and make his own opinion, he has to twist the information around to make it look the way it should be, right? Is completely audience captured, as Wargaming Dad would say. Yeah, he's definitely audience captured. I agree. Thank you for quoting me. I love it when people quote me. I've talked about Drinker a few times. Yeah, I figure you would, since he's kind of the big boy in the movie spectrum. But Endymion does the same thing. He, if you listen to his videos, they're all the exact same. You could almost say them word for word. But he also doesn't talk in these big groups. Like, he may say a word or two, or someone engages with him and then he'll say something, but he doesn't have his own opinion. He only has whatever opinion the group has, and he's just waiting to read the room on what that opinion is.
Humans sitting around smoky briefing rooms, and a thoughtful exploration of a facet of the alien universe that often gets neglected.
So right off the bat, I love that Drinker wasn't actually able to explain what specific facet of the alien universe he thinks gets neglected here, and he was glad got addressed in Alien Earth. This is an incredibly vague statement and could quite literally mean anything. But of course, Drinker, being the griffly bear that he is, doesn't actually want to give a specific analysis of Alien Earth whatsoever. He's obviously not interested in actually getting into the nitty-gritty of what worked about the show and what didn't work for him whatsoever. The only reason he made this video to begin with is to farm outrage by creating incredibly shallow, lackluster commentary surrounding this show without actually diving into the show and its themes or anything about it whatsoever. In other words, this is not a real review, which, knowing Drinker, is absolutely a given.
Holy sh**.
In a way, a lot of the anti-woke circles and podcasts are all about saying what the audience wants to hear, and when one of them goes offline, they all scramble to try and change the situation. Yeah, you're not wrong there. I mean, there's obviously the audience capture point of like the big group, but then you look at somebody like Endymion and Critical, and they have even less idea of what that could be, right? You can maybe even be able to put Smash in this bubble, because he's not really all that intelligent a guy when he makes his points. He'll at least say something dumb though and try and put out an opinion. But they don't know what the right words are to say in that tone, right? That they don't know what the audience wants to hear, so they're waiting for other people around them to say it. You probably heard this from my video about Birdman, but the Critical Drinker enjoys some woke slop. He signals some white Eurasia themes, but he said making a Norse goddess black was fine. Well, that comes down to consistency, right? The new God of War Ragnarok. Yeah, I figured that's what you meant, but it's a consistency thing with them, because everyone else would say that, hey, that black person in there is woke, right? And yeah, sure, there's an argument there, but did that matter for the sales of the game? Not really. It did well. Smash said that Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 wasn't woke, and he got chewed up and folded over. Yeah. They can't have their own opinions. They have to repeat the words that are out there, the words that their audience wants to hear.
Shit, maybe this show was actually going to be decent. I even said as much on Twitter while ranting about some journalist who sees literally all of entertainment as a gender identity seminar.
Ah yes, because it totally makes sense to bring up some random argument you had on Twitter when trying to review Alien Earth. Maybe talk about the show and don't talk about random interactions you have on Twitter. It's kinda not really helping you look like a real reviewer here whatsoever.
This is a common tactic too, you see, where they'll be like, everyone online is saying that this woke thing is great. And I'm like, who? And then they show you some shitter account with like 5 followers that made some unhinged comment, and they're like, right here. And I'm like, okay, that's nobody. If anything, that's probably your bot. I want to know how fake that guy's voice is. Critical Drinker? I could believe the voice is his. I don't think he's acting up. That'd be fun. I don't think it's a pirate software level of it. I think for a lot of these guys, they're okay with the free love stuff of the 90s and 2000s. Basically, they want the LGB, but they don't, but not the T. The T is too far. Well, you know, I get it. In Boston, we did have this thing with T that happened, but it's not the same T, right?
Anyway, Marcy's put through an experimental procedure to transfer her consciousness into a new android body as part of a larger project to extend human lifespan. Pretty soon, she's joined by a gang of other kids who all went through the same process, and because I guess the writers are fans of Peter Pan, she becomes Wendy and the others take on the names of the lost boys.
Yeah, that was kind of the metaphor that they were going for.
Boys. You know, I'm not entirely sure the writers understand the themes of Peter Pan. I mean, I get that it's all cool and artistic to juxtapose a classic piece of children's fairy tale literature against the existential cosmic horror of the xenomorphs, because it's like a sharp contrast and stuff. But I can't shake the feeling that they're trying to fit a thematic square peg into a round hole with this one. Peter
What?
Pan was a story about the childish fear of growing up, of taking on the responsibilities and burdens of adulthood, of getting physically older and inevitably facing up to their own mortality. This is a story about children literally placed into adult bodies that will never age, forced to grow up quickly and adapt to their new situation.
Yeah, and
that's the fucking... That's like the same thing. They're stuck in Neverland with the kid minds that have to grow up slowly or not grow up at all because we really don't know, you know, how that works and the problems with that. See why this is bad, but he and others make exceptions for Ripley and Sarah Connor. Yeah, it's oh god, he basically just like said the same thing twice but in different ways and then acted like they weren't the same, right?
That's exactly the point, Drinker. Inevitably, what Drinker doesn't understand here is the reason why the Peter Pan terminology is being used in this show is because the story of Wendy and her cohorts in a lot of ways is like a reverse Peter Pan. Instead of being kids who are whisked away to Neverland and never want to grow up, they are kids who are placed into adult bodies and want to grow up too fast. That's literally the whole point of Wendy and her crew's story, but unfortunately Drinker didn't quite realize that.
All seems to be going well for Wendy until news of the ship crash reaches them and she sees footage of her brother Joe going in with the rescue teams. She wants to help him out, so she petitions her superiors to be sent in with the Lost Boys as a rescue team, and for some reason, they actually agree to it.
In the quiet words of the Virgin Mary, come again.
Like, you understand that you're basically sending children into a highly dangerous and highly traumatic situation with no weapons or training, right? Aside
Yeah, you're a corporate entity who has made superhuman kids that you want to use for a variety of reasons. You're so powerful you think you control basically entire sections of the galaxy. So yes, you make decisions like this because you don't really give a shit who gets hurt. You want to see what the prototypes can do. that's kind of the entire point.
Aside from the fact that they could easily get destroyed and wipe out billions of dollars of investment, how do you think they're going to react when they see dead bodies and horribly injured victims? Shit like that can cause veteran soldiers to freak out, never mind kids that have never seen anything more violent than an episode of SpongeBob.
So funny enough, if Drinker had actually paid attention to the show, he would have realized that this was actually already addressed in the first episode. Wendy realizes her brother is out there amongst the shipwreck with only a few other crewmates, so she volunteers to go with the Lost Boys to go aid him. Initially, this young Elon Musk stand-in who created Wendy in the show is initially skeptical of her and the Lost Boys going over there.
Yeah, I do remember
but of
that.
course, being the very cocky person.
By the way, I hate this aside. He and people like Mahler do, where they start to apply real world rules to movies that isn't meant to function that way. Yeah, I remember seeing the nitpicking that he'll do for things like The Acolyte, right? I think there are tons of things to criticize The Acolyte about, but he complained about the fire in space. And I'm like, yeah, it's Star Wars. There are people who they're not trying to be realistic to nature with it. We're talking about space wizards and other things like that. You're nitpicking stuff that people have nitpicked for generations in movie. You can go to any movie and make nitpicks. I'm in the military. And do you realize how frustrating it can be sometimes when I see people not doing military tactics properly? It's frustrating, but that's just part of the way the movie industry works. Yeah, this was something he completely ignored and was addressed in this exact scene. Yeah, I mean, I liked the show and the direction it was going in. I'm waiting to see more. Wait, you're still in the military? I said was damaged. I'm not in the military anymore. I got out. I'm done with that. Thank goodness. But laziest type of film discussion. Yeah, it's nitpicking things just to pad out your video is what I think it comes down to.
He decides to go along with it and see if his toys that he's created can stand up to this test. The other smarter, more mature people here on his board object to it, as you can see in this clip here, but he decides to go with it anyway.
I said we can do it. Sir, we're fast, we're strong, we don't break.
Send them.
Send...
Yeah. The Lost Boys. I see how to handle the
PFC
stress.
Wargaming Dad.
Other
I
non-technicians
haven't
on
been
deck.
a PFC in years. I got out as a sergeant.
Sir, they're not first responders. They're still in the prototype stage. The loss of a single unit would be devastating.
Yeah, so don't lose one.
If Drinker had actually paid attention to the show, he might be able to store this kind of information in that giant forest.
It's almost like the rich dude is hubris and willing to risk it all. Man, what a pause to get what he wants, right? Damn, I was going to ask you to send me a taco MRE. I've been waiting to try one. You know what? I could probably get a hold of a taco MRE for you. I don't know that I ever tried it, and I don't know that I would be willing to try it out in the field. I've seen 40-year-old specialists before you know something bad happened. Fair enough.
Forehead of his, but clearly he actually wasn't watching the show whatsoever.
Also, the idea of having children in adult bodies facing off against aliens might have sounded good in a brainstorming session where everyone was high on coke, but the reality is the Lost Boys are annoying as fuck, completely idiotic, and there's far too many of them to do any real character development. The first two Alien movies...
What? There's like character development on all of them. And yeah, the point is they're kids and they're I mean, all right, I'm a dumb guy when it comes to fucking movies and stuff like that. So these are horrendously bad takes.
These were compelling because for the most part, the humans were smart and logical and made the best decisions they could under the circumstances. You rooted for them because you understood them and you identified with them. I don't care about any of the...
It's been a while since I saw Alien, but I don't think everyone in there made the best choices based off of what they could. There's a lot of Scooby-Doo action happening around there and other things like it's you don't want a movie where people are like doing the best that they can necessarily. The conflict is in people making mistakes because we are human. I feel like the F&T guy must get together and all decide to just follow the same hate this new slop script from YouTube's newest round of anti-woke grifters. I doubt he even watched it. Oh yeah, he probably didn't watch it. I don't know that a lot of these guys, it's the same idea where like these guys don't play the games that they're going into. at the same notice, they don't watch the movies that they want to go to, because you would think they would you would think they would have caught on to some of this. Like, you think he would have noticed this stuff.
Lost Boys.
It's almost like someone's telling him how the movie is going, and he's making a decision to hate it from there.
Because 1, they can't feel pain or injuries. 2, they can't be impregnated by facehuggers. And 3, well, they're fucking idiots.
So inevitably, Drinker's reasoning for quote-unquote not being able to like the Lost Boys in this series makes no real sense whatsoever. The reasons he gives here is that they can't feel pain and they can't be impregnated by facehuggers. So what exactly is your criteria for caring about a character then? Is it only to see them get completely demolished on screen? Is it to see them in extreme pain or get impregnated by an alien? This logic makes absolutely no sense and really isn't any kind of actual character criticism whatsoever. Drinker seems to somehow think because he can't see these characters in physical pain or getting impregnated by aliens, he somehow can't care about them at all. And his last point there about the characters being supposedly dumb also shows once again he clearly wasn't actually paying attention to the story in this show. These were all dying children who were put into the bodies of robotic adults. They are quite literally the minds of kids put into the bodies of grown-ups, so it kind of makes sense they wouldn't always make the right decisions. They're still growing into their own bodies even. Overall, while Drinker very clearly tried to compare Alien Earth to Alien and Aliens here and claim it's all woke now and that makes it bad, that really isn't what happened here at all, and he failed to give any substantial criticism as well. It's also very funny because if the original Alien film came out today, by the standards a lot of these grifters often give, yes, it would be considered woke by them. It features—
Dude, Ripley would be such a girl boss. It's not even funny. Of course, all these, this woman is the only one to survive, while all the strong male characters are killed off and act like complete idiots.
There's a tough-as-nails female protagonist who isn't sexualized whatsoever and outlives everybody else around her by the end of the film, including the male characters around her. By the logic a lot of these guys often give, this film would absolutely be considered woke today. But believe it or not, it's not even just Critical Drinker who has done this method before of weaponizing 80s nostalgia in order to pander towards an anti-woke audience. Someone like Ranting for Vengeance has also done this before when he was complaining about Marvel.
This guy doesn't watch or play or do anything. This guy... Sarah Connor too. She even had an anti-man rant about the Skynet dude, but she's fine because reasons. Yeah, you look at it and like it's a lot of this is just made up fantasy about what they think it is, and it gets to the extremes when you get into like the Gooners who are like they all need to be wearing tightly clad outfits. They use like the Conan picture from those movies from the past when it's like that's a completely different genre into its own set.
Marvel's Fantastic Four and also Superman coming out last year and saying that 80s anime was way better and totally not woke. Oh boy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this kid gets beat up a lot, like probably still to this day.
Let's see what our favorite emo version of a Raggedy Ann doll had to say.
So, do you ever find yourself sick and tired of the Fantastic Four and whatever new crap DC is putting out like Superman? Well, there is a solution. You could go back and read the old comics, or there's something that might even be better: anime and manga. Now, before you laugh, I'm not talking about your bullshit manga.
Every Wargaming Dad stream I get to learn about another copy paste anti-woker. Yes, we love to find the smaller, more niche anti-woke grifters.
An anime that everybody loves, like Attack on Titan and My Hero Academia and Jujutsu Kaisen. That's a load of trash. I'm going to be telling you about the real anime and manga that is superior to anything the West has ever put out. I'm just kind of sick of Fantastic Four and Superman.
Yeah, I agree. No, utterly, or this guy Ranting for Vengeance is fun. I remember watching the first video I watched of his and I just laughed my ass off. It was genuinely funny to watch. He looks like a slightly more chubby Paul Dano. Oh,
Superman. I don't know about you, it might be funny to rag on it for a bit, but it's not just going to be my entire life attacking Fantastic Four.
I love how he says this when, if you look at his page, the next 2 videos he made after making this manga one were exactly that, him bashing Fantastic Four for being woke propaganda. Way to hypocrite, Goob from Meet the Robinsons.
There's going to be a few anime and manga that you should check out if you're sick of American comics and American movies and TV shows. So the ones I'm going to be talking about today are ones that will be available or
Money, I'm not entirely sure this guy isn't 14 years old.
Are available now, and are ones that not many people have ever talked about. So after some research and the suggestions from the comments, I've figured out some like Berserk.
Okay, so admittedly this is low-hanging fruit, but calling Berserk an unknown manga is absolutely wild. Berserk is like one of the foundational manga and anime that everybody talks about. How could you have not heard of this one before? I feel
it's also like considered one of like the foundational literature when it comes to like dark fantasy and even into like grim dark culture. Like, what are you talking about? I've never fully read it, but I did start. I bought the first group of they all come in like editions now with the different chapters, and I bought the first one to go through it. And I will say, like, me going through it as an adult for the first time reading through it, I don't like the main character. I forget his name now off the top of my head, but I'm pushing through it because I'm told you do start to like him. But yeah, to this day I've not read or seen Berserk. All I want, and I never want to. That's fair. It's a very dark book. Guts, that's right. It's a very dark book, and it gets into some horrendous themes, right? But I figured I wanted to pick it up and try because I am a fan of dark fantasy. We'll see if I actually enjoy it.
I feel like that's like saying you haven't heard of.
But even that, with like me never having read it, and I knew what it was. Everyone knew what it was. Kamoji coming in with the bangers. A lot of the anti-wokes can relate to Berserk with how raped they are.
Gundam or Akira, it's one of those major pieces of Japanese anime or manga that everybody knows about, and it's easily one of the most.
You're surprised I don't have Noah on? I will, actually, if you want, we'll talk with him a little bit after his video is over.
Influential as well. Stuff like Dark Souls or Dragon's Dogma or Soul Calibur.
Maybe. We'll see if we finish the video before time.
Or Final.
If not, we can have Noah on at another time. Me and him have talked back and forth in the back ends of it.
Fantasy VII and Devil May Cry even were all influenced by Berserk. Heck, even other manga and anime like Chainsaw Man or Attack on Titan were inspired by Berserk. So obviously there is the possibility that Ranting for Vengeance.
Hi, I just found this obscure manga that just happens to be the building blocks for Japanese anime as a whole. Yeah, we got to figure out what topic we're gonna hit if we do a stream together. But definitely, it'll probably be in April after I get back. I think would be a good time. Do you remember that CGI Berserk adaptation? I don't remember if I saw that one. I've seen the cartoon, but or the anime, but I don't know that I've seen the CGI one. I've heard about it. Been on and off. Got a jet. Been fun. All right, GB, thanks for coming by anytime. And I want to thank everyone who's coming out here while we're at a little pause point here. I want to thank all of y'all for coming out today. It is crazy that right now I have 200 people watching my channel. I never could have thought this many people would want to hear my retarded takes. If you'd be so kind, while we're finishing up the video for tonight and going out, if you could go down just into the bottom there and like the stream, it'd be most appreciated. And if you enjoy the content, I am taking a break in March, but generally Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday I stream, and we talk about a variety of subjects, gaming, anti-wokers, griffly bears, all of the different types. So thank you for coming by today. I really do appreciate it. And back to reading and watching. I like Like, come on, how can you claim Berserk is unknown? Yeah, I mean, it's probably the most tourist thing you could say about any piece of media.
Hadn't somehow heard of Berserk before, but the thing is, everybody else knows about it. That's not an unknown manga. Him trying to label Berserk as an unknown manga is just honestly super disingenuous.
I didn't expect it to be as good as it was, but the thing is really badass and better than almost every American comic out there. Screw the Killing Joke, screw Green Arrow, Green Lantern, screw most DC comics, which are woke garbage, by the way, and I'm not saying that Marvel doesn't do that either, because they do, and it's insufferable.
So this is the part I find the funniest of all. Not only does Ranting Revengeance think that Berserk is a unknown manga, but he also thinks that it's not quote-unquote woke. The thing is, there actually are a number of LGBT characters in Berserk, which if Ranting Revengeance actually read the manga, he would know this. And this is something he'd probably dismiss as quote-unquote woke propaganda as well. There are two explicitly stated homosexual characters in Berserk, the first being Donovan and the second being Genin. And even outside of that, there's pretty notable gay subtext between Griffith and Guts. This has always been a thing since the manga has been running.
Yeah, Griffin wanted to tear up those guts.
But apparently Ranting Revengeance just didn't see that. It's funny that he calls all.
Well, here's the thing, in those situations, like if he got called out for it, if he actually got called out for it, he would they would go back to the tried and true, well, not all gay stuff or woke stuff is bad, it just needs to be good. But we're so far past that saying of like, as long as you make the game good, people will buy it, that it's you don't believe it anymore, right? Can I guess the background music for this? Let me listen.
All American comics quote-unquote woke propaganda and tries to recommend you Japanese comics instead, but the Japanese comics he's given you still are quote-unquote woke by his criteria. The jokes really write themselves here. But don't worry everybody, the fun doesn't.
I recognize it, I don't know what it is.
Stop here. Goth Kid from South Park has another pretty telling recommendation for manga here for us.
Oh, don't talk bad about Goth Kid from South Park.
This one,
Wind Waker. God, I liked that game too. I had a lot of Wind Waker is probably actually one of my favorite, if not my favorite Zelda franchise, even though it was not as well received, I guess, as a bunch of the other ones. I love the water. I love the ocean. I used to go off fishing on boats all the time, things like that. So it was by far my favorite. Yeah, I like Majora's Mask. I think that's a popular one for a lot of people.
one is a bit more common and many people know about it, but kind of brush it off as a comedy, which it is most certainly not. I'm talking about the hard-boiled noir manga that beats Marvel and DC any day, which is City Hunter. Now I'm recommending the manga, which will soon be in print in a massive omnibus, but also I'm recommending the badass anime. Now I might piss some people off here, but have you ever watched Cowboy Bebop? And you thought that the main guy was cool. Oh, he's this badass who's kind of like a bounty hunter, private detective in space. This guy is just going around blowing people away and he's this wisecracking noir character. Yeah, well, he was ripped off directly from 70s Japanese noir movies and this manga right here. So it follows Ryo Saiba, known as the City Hunter, who works as a sweeper, which is basically a private investigator, mercenary assassin in the streets of Tokyo. Now, if you're not sold already, then I don't know what's wrong with you, but basically the manga and the anime take from American 80s action movies, they take from Miami Vice, 40s noir, hard-boiled pulp novels, meshing together to create something that is truly one of the best.
My sister loved Twilight Princess too, Money. That's pretty good.
Best things I've come across. The best part is, in new manga and anime, the protagonists cry and are wimps, but this guy is just an absolute chad who's always holding a beautiful babe and blown away an evil scumbag with his 357 Magnum. And that's a common trend you'll see with a lot of these good manga and anime, is the fact that the main dudes are not wimps like Deku or Eren Yeager, but are instead more manly than America ever was.
Okay, I find this really funny because he seems to think that City Hunter embraces toxic masculinity, when in actuality, if you read it, that's not really what happens in that manga at all. The main character of City Hunter, Rio, is a pervert who often does try to get with different women, but usually he doesn't and is punished because the manga does recognize this is wrong. There are many times in this manga where Rio actually does come off as a selfish character and embraces toxic masculinity, but he's actually punished for that. And interestingly enough, it's the times when he doesn't act like this that he actually does get the girl, or people actually want to be around him because he's not being a selfish jerk. Kylo Ren here seems to think that
it's almost like he didn't read it. I can't speak on that particular manga. That's not one that I've ever read. I'm very light when it comes to anime in general. I was never a manga reader. My sister was huge into it. She had shelves full of manga, and I read a few of her stuff, but I could never just get into it as a whole. And then I have like animes that I enjoyed. Like I grew up, I was a Dragon Ball Z kid. Then one of my favorite animes, that's a few is my favorite, is holy shit. The main character is a pervert. That's basically every male character in any anime game ever, right? Full Metal Alchemist. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. Oh, I know why, because my brain is completely... Full Metal Alchemist is one of my favorite animes, but I don't watch like a lot of the other stuff. I can't really watch most anime. It just doesn't click for me.
That City Hunter is celebrating toxic masculinity when, if he actually read it, you would see that it doesn't. And I also find it especially interesting when you look at what he said about the French comic Black Sad in the past, as opposed to what he says about City Hunter.
Yeah, this comic might be taking inspiration from some French stuff, but to be honest with you, every time somebody says that to me, I just get annoyed. You're telling me to go read some French comic that has like 2 pages, because I don't like French comics. Stuff like Black Sad sucks.
You are a sad, strange little man, and you have my pity.
Huh, funny, because that's exactly what Black Sad is too. The comic you just said sucks. Funny enough, both Black Sad and City Hunter are about toxic masculinity tropes and breaking them down, albeit in different ways. John Blacksad isn't quite as much of a womanizer as Rio from City Hunter is, but he still definitely very much is that, and that is part of his...
But he's wearing an Iron Maiden shirt, so he must be cool. And he probably also, ripped the sleeves himself.
Character. But funny enough, just like Rio, this is something he's punished for. This isn't something that's really celebrated as much as deconstructed here. I don't know how Ranting Revengeance managed to walk away from reading both Black Sad and City Hunter and seem to completely misunderstand what both of them are about. It's completely mind-blowing. Ultimately, overall, a lot of these anti-woke grifters, and even just anti-woke politicians in general, often do weaponize 80s nostalgia for their own purposes. Nostalgia is a very powerful tool and can be a very powerful weapon when used by these kinds of people. But fortunately, me doing these kinds of videos that I do here has helped a lot more people become privy to this grift overall and understand when it is occurring. People like Clownfish TV, Jesterbell, Geeks and Gamers, Metatron, and plenty of others have seen diminishing viewership as people catch on to their grift thanks to the videos I do here, and plenty of others do as well. And someone like Melanie Mack has just straight up left the platform, never to return again. So fortunately, it looks like me educating folks is really paying off, which makes me very happy. So thanks everybody, I'm happy to keep hunting griftly bears. I'm also looking forward to putting out more film ranking videos this year, and also more autism related ones as well, since obviously those are two things that are very passionate for me overall. And I'm also looking forward to doing a few gaming retrospectives this year, so stay tuned for that. But what do you think? Am I wrong? Am I a gay woke furry? Let me know in the comments below. Regardless, I hope you
yeah, I would say you're a gay woke furry.
enjoyed this video or learned something new from it. If you like this video, be sure to give it a like and also consider subscribing as well. I do lots of videos like this in general, talking about film, animation, and gaming and things like that, so if you like this video, you'll probably like the other videos I've planned as well. If you'd like to join my Discord, it's linked down below where you
Last you saw Melanie, yeah, the quartering. Oh God, she looked so. What did she whisper? Help me! Oh, poor Melanie. Poor Melanie. In all seriousness, I'm glad many folks are finally speaking out against this stuff. Not just me. Yeah, I think it's becoming more prominent because people are just tired of it. So you have agree. You know, and a lot of people say you get a lot of people in these industries that will be like, well, you just don't pay attention to them or things like that. And I was like, well, that only does so much. And eventually someone says something to them that gets them the views that they want so they can make more anti-woke content. But people don't really know the truth until you start showing it to them. Like, this is what is going on. This is what is happening, right? You show the facts of the case, and, you know, a little bit of making fun of them and hitting them back with some of the stuff they try and do. It starts to make others who are like me, who were, you know, more anti-woke on that side in the beginning, really see like, holy shit, these dudes are full of shit. Sometimes it just takes like one person being like, huh, let me go look this up, to change their mind on the entire, you know, anti-woke grift. I should have put the anti-woke industrial complex falling apart in 2026 on Kalishi. Would have made a lot of money. There you go. Oh, man. So with that, guys, we are coming right there, about 5 minutes out. So we're going to close it off here. I want to thank everybody for coming by. Again, if you haven't liked the stream, like the stream on the way out. If you want to hear more or you had fun in the stream, go ahead and subscribe. I really appreciate it. Thank you all for coming by, guys. I will see y'all tomorrow with more content. Thank you, money. Y'all have a good night.